Hello, everybody, and welcome on this, for me, Sunday morning, GDQ Hotfix. My name is Adef. I'll be your host this morning / afternoon / evening, wherever you are in the world. We have PB Precipice on the docket for today, the show that showcases runners that are just on the verge of a personal best in their speedrun. Today we'll have Swift Ike showing off Twilight Princess Any Percent, a run that is very near and dear to my heart, and a gamer that is very near and dear to my heart. I'm nailing this intro. But first, some quick announcements. SGDQ 2022 remote volunteer applications are coming up. If you'd like to help with any of our off-site volunteering positions, please go to gamesdonequick.com for more information. Registration is also open until May 23rd. Be sure to register if you'll be attending our live event in Minnesota. The games list was just released. You can check that out at gamesdonequick.com. And if you're watching on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at our live content starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. With that, Swift Ike, hello gamer.
Hello, how's it going? Fantastic intro, you nailed it.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm doing great, how are you?
Fantastic, it's nice. 10 o'clock in the morning, up all night cleaning.
Yes. Yes.
My favorite weekend activity.
So
No, you're good.
I'm glad to know that Ike and I are both in Pacific time, so we both had call for this at 9:30, and it seems we both had late nights, which is great.
Yeah, have you ever heard the song 2 a.m.?
I'm not sure. Who's the artist?
I'm blanking on it. The chorus is nothing good happens past 2 a.m. That's all that you need to know.
Oh, I think sometimes I am a believer in that.
Yeah.
Ike, tell us a little bit about what run we're going to see today.
So we are going to see Any Percent. Twilight Princess Any Percent is kind of known as the one Zelda category that does not change across the Any Percents. In the last, I think, like 7 or 8 years, we've brought the record down like 5 minutes total. Which, you know, compared to the other 3D Zelda games, not quite as much. But we have found some new stuff recently, which I think I'm going to try and showcase stuff along the lines of Norgore. I might give Stat-Lord Skip a shot. We'll see how that goes. Something that used to be pass only for a long time. And yeah, it's one of the only games that still does like most of the game, right? So people are in for a bit of a treat if you have not seen it.
Sweet. Well, why don't we get the show on the road?
Oh, we're ready to go?
I think so.
All right. Wait, I was grabbing my foot pedal to start the splits.
I mean, you can have a timer on your screen too if you want.
I just force a habit, you know?
Yeah.
All right, but I am on the ready screen. If I can, ready for the countdown?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. Have fun.
Oh, yeah.
So just to quickly explain, this is PB Precipice. So Ike is allowed to reset. Yes.
So I might be
That's
resetting
all the information you really need to know.
And starts off with carrying a rock. I've always thought it was funny that, you know, every other Zelda speedrun starts out pretty quick, in my opinion, but also starts out with like a 5-minute cutscene. And Twilight Princess starts out like absurdly slow. Okay, so that might be frame early. So we might be forced reset. Yep, so there's one attempt.
Ike, can you do me a quick favor?
Of course.
Can you go like stream your gameplay on Discord? I completely forgot to ask you about that.
Yeah. My controller's not working. Sec. That is weird.
It's all good. We've got plenty of time.
Hello? I'm gonna just rip out this input display. That's what's causing it, I think. What in the world?
Gamers, while Swift Ike tries to figure out the controller situation, I'll just reiterate that PB Precipice, sort of the whole idea is that runners who are like really close to a PB in their run will, you know, come on and do attempts with the ability to reset. Now, obviously, Twilight Princess is quite a long category, so Ike won't be able to reset as frequently, but certainly will be able to. Ike, if you need to, if we need to throw it to some kind of
yeah, okay. I've actually never had this happen, but also that is par for the course for me being on GDQ at this point.
Could you throw your gameplay onto Discord?
Yes, let me throw that up for you.
Thank you. Sorry. But yes, some layout information really quick is that underneath the PB Precipice title on the top left, you'll be able to see Ike's PB of 2:57.27. And that is what we're trying to beat. But Ike, please take it away.
We good to go on the
Yeah.
Say the thing. What thing?
I don't know what thing. Ike, I think you can start.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Also, yeah, Ike, you got the nice hair and the good-looking clothes going on. Ike's showing up with the big swagger on the stream.
Thank you.
Love to see it.
I appreciate
Sub
that.
2 this stream. Yeah, Ike is going to casually drop the record by 50 minutes.
Oh, right. Has that ever happened before? It's like a GDQ show, isn't it? Or that's never happened before?
Yes. Has that ever happened before?
My apologies. Sub 1.
So Ike is using a rock to clip through this gate and then is attempting to soft reset the console the same frame Link voids out.
Hello, controller? Why are you breaking on me?
Oh, I thought you were trying to like brake slide or something.
No, this is just my controller breaking live on GDQ for some reason.
We can throw to a quick thing if you want to take a second to figure this out.
Okay, I think I know what the problem is. Yes, let's throw to a quick thing. I'm very sorry. I don't know
what's
okay. Going on.
It's really okay. Production, if we wouldn't mind throwing to like a quick BRB screen or something while we figure out the technology. Back to the GDQ hotfix. We just had some brief technical difficulties, but Ike has done some controller wizardry, and we are back to make it happen. Ike, whenever you're ready, you can do a countdown and start the next round.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go. Just should have fixed it. That's what happens when you mod the controller too much.
Let's get some emotes for Ike, some bless and support emotes. I'll throw one in chat. I got a few of those.
Picking up the rock for the third time.
Hey, this is what a Twilight Princess stream actually looks like.
Yeah, no, this is the authentic experience. Just
which is the goal, right?
Yeah, 6, maybe 8 hours of walking up to this gate and resetting. It sounds like a good day, right?
Hey, it's all an honest day's work.
Hey, at least we got it this time. That is the frame that I'm looking for to reset, to go back in time in future. So, and the controller's not breaking. Would you look at that? Perfect. All right. So that's the number 1 reset point in the run. The number 2 reset point is at like the 13-minute mark. So hopefully we can get past that as well. But do you know back in time? Would you like to explain it?
Sure.
For people who do not.
So, yes. Back in time is a glitch that is actually across several Zelda games. And how the trick works is that you soft reset the console, or you could also hard reset the console on the frame that Link avoids out. and you are able to play as Link on the title screen. And so it is useful in Twilight Princess specifically, at least in this first instance, because you, on the title screen, you have the Ordon Sword and the Hylian Shield and the Hero's Clothes, which the Hero's Clothes aren't that important, but you have those things already on the title screen. So basically, Ike just saves while on the title screen, and that becomes his file. The trick was accidentally discovered, like so many great glitches. And I believe it is called back in time because the glitch was performed the very first time at a later point in the game, and so it reverted the player back to a point that he didn't really look like that anymore. And hence why it was called Back in Time. Or maybe they got the bubbling cutscene. I can't remember exactly why it's called Back in Time, but it's some
it is indeed
around that.
They found it in Arbiter's Grounds, I believe.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
And we're like, oh wow, I'm back at the start of the game and I have nothing. That's weird.
And so now in perpetuity, it's called Back in Time.
Yeah, just another classic situation of the speedrunning community, like latching onto the first name, and it's just that's what it is now.
It's a cool name.
It is, honestly. It just doesn't like fit because I'm pretty sure none of the categories use it to actually go back in time.
Yeah, it's also like you can do Back in Time in Wind Waker also, and Skyward Sword. In Skyward Sword, it's like unbelievably powerful.
Yeah, it's absurd.
But in Skyward Sword, it's obviously not sending you back in time necessarily, but you do control like Pajama Link on the title screen in Skyward Sword Back in Time, so it feels like you're going back in time. And there's also RBMs to actually go back in time, so I don't know. It's maybe the most applicable there.
In Wind Waker, right? I got lost. There's so many back in times.
In Skyward Sword,
okay, yeah.
You
I should have known.
There are RBMs to access the past.
Because reverse bit magic. I do love that name.
Yes.
Reverse bit magic.
Oh, it's fantastic.
What is your favorite trick name out of any game?
Oh boy. I have a lot of respect for Super Metroid naming conventions because I think this is an unpopular opinion, but I like speedrun tricks that are just named like goofy things.
Yeah.
Or like really specific descriptions of what's going on. So Super Metroid has the full halfie, which is where you can go halfway through this room with a shine spark, but if you go the full way, then it's the full halfie, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I know Sonic Adventure 2 has a trick called Bofa, where you get Bofa to boxes.
Oh, yikes. Good.
It's I think my favorite one is still going to be Doom Jump. I think that's one of my favorite tricks in any speed game, which is in Ocarina of
Doom
Time,
Jump is so good.
where you die and launch yourself with the hook shot, and then have a fairy in a bottle and land on the.
Do you want your reality to be shattered for a second?
Sure.
I could not believe this when I found it out. You would think Doom Jump is called Doom Jump because you die and you jump. Doom Jump is called Doom Jump because it was found by a user named Doom.
I could have sworn Skater found it.
And then everybody thought that it was called Doom Jump because you die, and so it's just stuck. I think Skater found applications.
Okay, he probably found like a setup or something.
Yeah, but this Doom person, I didn't know this until I had some Ocarina of Time people on the show, and they ruined this for me. I was very upset when I found this out.
I had this experience with Ocarina of Time and with TP when I first started learning, that there's just like a group of people that have been around so long that they just have just this giant well of knowledge that is not documented anywhere. And they'll just pop up in your chat while you're trying to learn, oh, by the way, you can do this, and here's why, and saves a couple frames.
Oh, it's always like finding an unlisted YouTube video that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Wait, why is this not public?
I'm trying not to draw a ton of attention to it because this part is just entirely RNG. But I'm kind of just hoping.
It's a good first cycle.
Hoping that he is nice to me.
He just moves. Yeah.
Not quite.
No.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's not too shabby, actually.
Nice mash. Nice mash on the second phase. So yeah, this obviously is happening much earlier in the game than usual if you've played Twilight Princess. Ike doing back in time, one of the side effects is that this flag can be set to get the iron boots. Yeah, you just have to clear all of Bo's prior text boxes. And the fight is totally RNG. It's basically rock, paper, scissors. And you have to mash really fast in order to, like, you know, properly do the phases. Also, it always scares me when people aren't doing the same route as me, because when they don't save in Bo's house, I'm like, oh, you need to save in Bo's house. But you're doing a different bite route.
I am indeed doing a different route. One day I'll teach you this route.
I just need a small break from speedrunning for a moment.
What is the flag for iron boots? It is taming Epona, yes. Taming Epona, which is something that you get from doing back in time. The full flag for back in time, like all the things that it does, is it gives you hero's clothes, sword and shield. It gives you Epona tamed, and the King Bulblin fight is like there. So there's like a trigger you have to kind of avoid. Or I think that's there either way.
Well, there's also like, there are these really interesting things that you'll actually see later for a moment when Ike does a trick called early monkeys. But there are like, you can get into Bulblin fights in back in time. And you can get stuck there if you'd like.
You can just live in that plane.
If you're doing Jotwad or Fastest Crash or
does
whatever,
Fastest Crash
these beautiful
still do that?
categories. No, Fastest Crash is actually, you do it on the back in time setup. You don't even have to, or like you get to the title screen and then you just die.
Ooh, wait, I just remembered we have a new trick. Have you heard about Eye Shredder?
No.
So Eye Shredder, called that because it shreds your eyes, is a new trick where we found out that we can actually put some code in on the file menu. Both Link and Epona have up to 255. Like
oh no, I do know
the
about
full
this.
bit, whatever. I'm not smart enough to have a full understanding of what's going on, but we can crash the game at text box startup now.
Fastest Crash is a beautiful, important category, and I'm glad it's getting tech.
Exactly. That's all we need. This cutscene, I always feel like takes longer than it did the time before.
What if it were luck-based?
I had a feeling that it was one day, or that it was like memory card based or something. I was like going insane. And I went and watched like 5 different videos and compared it to mine. And they were all the same. But I was just like, no, it's the same. It's consistent. Everything's fine.
The little things we do to try to save time.
I know. I actually did find out that my third-party memory card was losing me time. Every time I would save, it would take like a half a second longer. So I would just always lose half a second on the split.
How many times do you save in any percent? Like less than 10? Probably.
It's like 4 times, yeah. I do love TP any. I talked earlier about how I think this start is like kind of slow. But
see, I disagree with that.
I just feel like, yeah, I said that, and then I was like, it's not really slow. It's just we pick up a rock and walk for, like, that's our intro cutscene, is this walking scene.
Right, but that's like the first 30 seconds. I mean, by that definition, like, you know, Ocarina of Time speedruns are slow because you have to go get the sword. Like,
getting the sword has such cool movement.
I don't know. Well, yes, but gate clip is really cool and very flashy.
I guess.
And then you go straight into a glitch that, like, breaks people's brains.
Yeah, I kind of... I asked you to explain Bit because it takes so long. Like, this game is really funny in the sense that you can spend half the run explaining the first 15 minutes, and you don't need to explain anything else for the rest of the run. Because after that, it's just like, yeah, now we go do the dungeons. That's
not true. You gotta explain LJA and... Bite.
LJAs, I jump far.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think there's a magic to, like, giving the specific tech.
That's fair. Speaking of specific tech, Back in Time has one other unfortunate feature, which is that we cannot go get the sword and shield. And you're probably thinking, but Swift Ike, you have the sword and shield. It's right there. It's not actually in our inventory, so Midna thinks we still need to go get it. So I have to do something called the sword and shield skip, also known as SAS. Where I'm gonna move this guy all the way over to this bridge. And I'm gonna take him across the bridge. We go on a journey with this little fella. And then we're gonna LJA off of him to jump over a trigger and do a second trigger. LJA, of course, is long jump attack.
Yeah, so Ike is going to position Hugo in a specific sort of like range and a specific angle comparative to himself. And the goal is to hit Hugo once after his swing animation so that Hugo's in midair, and then jump attack again while Hugo is in midair, which gives Ike a long jump attack. And Ike is trying to clear. Good. Nice. Ike is clearing, or just cleared, the first trigger where Midna says, you need the sword and shield, and jumps into the second trigger, which is the, oh, no, you're fine. Here, let's go. Nice. First try. Yeah. Let's go. That means we're taking this run to the end, baby.
Yep, that's it. That was the spot where I will not be resetting anymore. Huzzah.
Get your PJs on and your cups of joe, and...
I mean, for us, probably like a cup of tea. It's nice, and I guess people drink coffee in the morning. I was like, in the morning you have tea, not coffee.
I think coffee's pretty explicitly a morning drink.
I tend to only get coffee like if I'm going on trips. We have a Starbucks right by our freeway, so if we're going places, we get Starbucks and we get coffee. But otherwise, we make tea at home.
I don't drink coffee.
I didn't for a long time.
I'll have like 1 cup of coffee a month, maybe. And that's only if I'm in dire need. Like after AGDQ this year, I hosted the Hotfix, like intro to Hotfix show with all the Hotfix showrunners. And I drank a legitimate cup of coffee that day, which is very rare for me.
It is weird how I think coffee tastes horrible. But over the years, it's just like, wait, it doesn't taste horrible anymore. What happened?
What is this?
It's a trick.
Wait, this is so dumb.
The gate's not moving, which is why it's dumb. Normally, this is very free, but I wanted to show it off because it's fun. But it is not working, so I'll just move on.
Does that even save time?
It saves time if you get it first try. I fairly consistently get it first try. But I am, of course, doing a showcase, so I want to go for the cool stuff. I'll try it again.
Well, you'll get to show off the same clip in Linearu as well.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's... The thing that makes this gate clip, like, worse than other ones is sometimes the gate just, like, doesn't move. Like, you'll hit it, and it just won't start wiggling. But... the wiggling is what causes you to be able to jump through it. But we can basically clip through every gate in the game with that strat. And it is always faster than the alternative by some amount.
Remember when... well, actually, I don't know. How long have you been around the speedrunning community? I don't remember.
I've been around Twilight Princess since like 2019, but I've been spectating since like 2014.
Okay, so you know about the opponent clip days when that was all there was.
I know about them. I never had to watch them.
Okay, so back in the day in like 2013, 2014, Twilight Princess, especially in No Save and Quit, but also in any percent. There's a clip that Ike will do later. Oh, you know what? We should just explain this instead. This is more important. There's a second type of super jump attack thing called a super jump. And so this is a notoriously silly trick. This is early Master Sword, so there is this thing in Twilight Princess where if you are targeting an enemy that is higher than you, and you do a Midna B attack, like the charged B attack, you will get a super jump. Just like that. And you can use this with a specific swing from the Shadow Beast, you can get up onto this ledge and go over to the Master Sword area several hours earlier than intended.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't want to fail it on the first attempt, because the very first one, I got the right attack. Nice slip, okay. So I was like, it's whatever, I can just wait for the attack again, and then I got 2 fast swings, which you basically can't get the trick on the fast swing. It's like extremely difficult. So thanks to RNG, I had to fail the trick. But it was kind enough to give it to me on the second attempt, so. This game's... I mentioned earlier that this game hasn't had a lot of improvements over the years, which means that it's gotten extremely optimized. We also recently got practice tools, which have completely revolutionized this game. I've been saying that TP is entering a renaissance of sorts, as we're getting to the point, somehow, with a 3-hour game where we are fighting for like a minute or two, which is a similar amount of time that games under an hour are fighting for. Like, to your Summa Best, I'm pretty sure the world record is like 2 minutes off of his Summa Best, which is absurd, considering this game has a large amount of RNG and basically every trick loses you a minute. But we've just gotten so like consistent at everything in this game to where any small mistake is like, well, there's the run. And it's kind of absurd, but also kind of cool seeing how optimized the game could be.
Yeah, Twilight Princess has sort of always had this reputation of being like unforgiving in a good way.
Yeah, it's... I feel like the unforgivingness hasn't changed, but it has gotten much easier.
Yeah.
For example, EMS, the trick that I just did, early Master Sword, used to be like extremely hard for a lot of people, including myself. But we found out that part of what makes it really hard is the Shadow Beast we have named Jamal. His position to the wall plays a huge part in how lenient the trick is. And the only way to get him consistently up against the wall is to wait for him to be following you and then dash away. So we've just like found all these little ways to make tricks so much more consistent over the years.
There were 2 things in chat over the course of the past couple of minutes that I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
First of all, Fant asked how precise the position is for Hugo, and I think you would probably know better than I.
Yes, so there's actually a lot of variables to Hugo. It's probably like one of the most complicated, not complicated. There's the most data on that trick than any other trick. But essentially there is 2 ovals that I'm working with. And so I'm going to be looking at a white dot and a black line. And I need Hugo to be between those 2 spots. And based on how close he is to one or the other, determines how long I slide or don't slide. And then I jump. It's
also like it's so feeling based though. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think Ike is actively like, oh, he's so close to the line, I will wait an extra frame. Like, it's
No, I definitely like, here I'm going to slide, here I'm going to hold back. The timing doesn't change. It's just whether or not I hold back on the joystick or I slide. Like, don't hold back and let Link just, like, because when he does the attack, he hits the ground and will, like, do a little slide. And that's very important for the positioning. But as far as, like, Hugo's position, if he's too far to the right, you'll go, like, essentially over the oval and land back in the wrong part of the trigger. And then if he's too far to the left, you have to have, like, a frame perfect LJA, because you're not going to get enough distance otherwise. So by having it be like a 45-degree angle, you hit the easiest point in the oval.
It's also the angle of him. It's not that hard to get the angle you need. Like, you kind of like angle into the wall and it pushes Hugo out.
Yeah. I think the actual hardest part about the trick is the fact that Hugo's like physics change between 3 different states based on whether or not he's attacking you or not. And also the pattern in which he attacks you is completely random. Sometimes he's just like swinging indefinitely. That's actually what I was having this run. He was just like not stopping to swing. I needed him to turn to the left. I had him in a really good spot for a while, and he just kept swinging without turning, so the angle would have been wrong.
The next thing that came up in the chat room was somebody just had a very good opinion, and I wanted to share it, because I agree. They said that Goron Mines is one of their all-time favorite Zelda dungeons, and they're sad that it's skipped an 80%, and I feel the same way.
It's probably my favorite dungeon in this game as well.
All dungeons is a good category.
All dungeons and 100% are both very, very good categories.
Oh, Goron Mines in Hundo is like so wonderful.
It's incredible. We also have a category that I've been trying to showcase more and more, because our shortest category that is a main category is any percent, which is 3 hours long if you're really good. But we also have Goron Mines RTA, which is literally just beat Goron Mines as fast as possible. And it is an absurdly underrated category. It is really fun. And I highly recommend it to anyone who's considering picking up this game. It teaches you like all the fundamentals. It teaches you wolf movement, link movement. You got to learn how to do LJAs, lots of cool tricks. And it's only an hour, so much more time forgiving. Highly recommend. I was going to do the gate clip again, but I'll just
There's a question in chat that is very niche and very silly. Are there any speedruns for Twilight Princess on the Squincet Paper NVIDIA Shield TV? The answer is kind of.
The NVIDIA Shield TP version is currently owned by 3 people total. Pheno, Dragonbane, and Venick.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought Venick had it.
Yes, but there's 3 people who have it total, and you basically can't do it anymore.
Did they take it off?
Yeah, they removed it from the Shield. Like, Shield discontinued the games.
Wait, so they bought... Oh my god. But yes, it was theorized to be the fastest version.
Yeah.
But
not for any percent, actually. They patched out a bunch of stuff in 90%.
Oh, wow.
Okay, come on. There we go.
So yeah, since Ike has the Master Sword, a Master Sword spin slash or jump attack kills these guys in one hit. Which is nice.
There's a comment in chat that I want to respond to. You cannot pet the wolf. However, you can hold the little dogs.
You can hold the cats, too.
and the cats. We actually have both speedrun categories on the leaderboards of hold a dog and hold the cat. Hold a cat. Both fantastic categories.
Very good. Okay, so this is a very something trick that Ike is doing right now. This is called Bite, which is back in time entrance, I believe. Also, sick first try. That's like genuinely so sick.
Back in time equip.
Back in time equip, that's right. The entrance is just used to void out. Because if you get over the like trigger that takes you outside, you can void out behind the thing. And then Ike basically it goes into the Bubblin' fight cutscene and soft resets his console. And as he's soft resetting, he skips the cutscene, which sets a flag on his instance of TP. And then he starts, and that he could only see that cutscene because he saved outside Bo's house. And then
it's very cool.
It's very complicated, but basically the bottom line is that he has set a flag on this file that will allow him to skip this entire dungeon.
More or less, yeah. Ooh, wait, do I have good Nancy RNG? We've taken it upon ourselves to give a nickname to every enemy in the game, including the spider. Aw, Nancy. It saves like 7 seconds if Nancy doesn't see you, but as soon as Nancy sees you, it is unlike the Ocarina of Time Skulltulas where you can just like stop and they'll go about their business. They stare at you the entire time once they see you. It's pretty wonderful. So we just have to go grab the nut. Yeah, I love the start of any percent in this game. Honestly, I just love the any percent in this game because it has so many moments where everything that I'm doing just makes no sense. And it's wonderful because so much of the game just looks like I'm just rolling around. Like our fastest movement tech is literally just rolling around. And then every once in a while we do stuff like that where it's just like, yeah, and now I'm gonna jump through this wall and reset my game and then reset my game again. And it's, you know, just don't worry about it. And now we're back on track. Just like weird detours that we do, and they take less than 15 seconds, and then we're just back on the path.
And the reason Ike comes to Forest Temple is just for this.
Yeah, we are here for the boomerang. It is what breaks this game. Ooh, thank you. This
that was
fight,
tremendous luck.
Yeah, this fight, Ook can hop a minimum of 2 times, which is what we got just there, but he can hop a maximum of indefinite times. The highest ever seen is a 28.
I did not know it was indefinite. I thought it got capped at like 10 or something.
No, it is indefinite. Similar to Zelda at the very end of the run, can indefinitely never throw balls.
Isn't the highest ever seen on Zelda like 18?
It is 17. Wicked Gliger in the chat is the only person to ever get a 17. And me, Wicked Gliger, I think one other person now are the only people who've ever gotten 16s.
For a long time, people, I guess, spread, we didn't know it was misinformation, I guess, but I was told for a long time that 15 was the hard cap. Like, it could never go higher than that. But it's funny.
That was the highest we've ever seen.
It's funny to find out that it can go higher than that.
So I thought that as well until I got a 16, and then I posted about it in the Discord to find out Dragonbane had actually passed it and gotten a 32.
Nah.
So, yes, it's pretty bad. It does get like really difficult for it to still be bad at a point, but yeah. We're almost to the point of the run where things stop being super, I want to say jarring. I feel like the speed run is kind of jarring for a little while, and then we're just like, yeah, we're gonna run around.
I really like the middle section, though. I don't know. There's something really satisfying about just like applying movement speed tech after all the difficult tricks found in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, I've always called the intro to any percent, the gauntlet, because you hit like from sword and shield skip to like the 40-minute point. You are just doing extremely difficult trick after extremely difficult trick, and failing any of them basically kills your run if you're going for like a really top time, because they all lose like a minute plus.
So remember earlier when Ike used Hugo being in the air to do a long jump attack? Now we have an item that lets us lock on to the ground or the ceiling above or below Link. And so if you are ever targeting something over a void or on a different Z-axis position than Link, which is like the vertical position, you can do these long jump attacks, and the Gale Boomerang lets you lock on basically anywhere. So it allows you to do these beautiful, wonderful movement tricks like this one. So the Gale Boomerang there went out of bounds and was over the void. And so, you know, technically there's no quote unquote Z-axis position below the Gale Boomerang, right? So I can long jump attack past the mailman trigger. These are everywhere and I love it so much. Honestly, I considered learning TP for years just because of this trick. And I'm glad I waited because the game was more approachable in 2020 when I decided to learn it.
It's only gotten better. This is, at this point in time, I think this is one of the most approachable speed games in this 3D Zelda space.
Yeah, it's Wind Waker is way harder. Skyward Sword is way harder. As someone that just learned all 6, I can tell you Wind Waker's way harder. Skyward Sword's way harder to understand. OT, who knows? Majora's Mask is constantly changing. Breath of the Wild, though, is pretty approachable. I'll say that.
Breath of the Wild's pretty approachable. I would put it in a very similar level to this game. I think the thing about Breath of the Wild that's absurd to me is that it has like an absurd difficulty, like, hold on. It has an absurd difficulty, like, curve, right? If you want it to be super easy, you can get like a 30-minute plateau time and learn it in a day. And then if you want it to be absurdly difficult and spend a week learning it, you can get like a 12-minute plateau time.
I mean, 12 would give you the world record for what it's worth, but...
Well, isn't plateau like 12 right now?
I thought low 13 is like as good as it gets. I don't know. My plateau PB is kind of slow. It's like a 15. The Great Plateau 80% world record is just sub 13. It's 12:59 and 867 milliseconds.
I thought it hit 12. So I kind of didn't bring it up, by the way, but I had just failed a frame perfect A press, which there are 2 tricks in the run currently where I am going to press a button, and if I do not press the button on the exact frame, my route completely changes, and I lose a little over a minute on both of those A presses.
I would give anything to remove Gorge Void from this run.
Yeah, we have practice tools. I practiced it before the run. I got it like 7 times in a row. So I was pretty feeling myself. Unfortunately, I did press the A button, I think a frame early. So I now have to do everything out of order. But it ends in the same spot after a 20-minute split.
Yeah, the claw shot split is just so long.
Yeah, but I am now going to try and clip through this gate again. Different gate, but same concept.
I am you may be upset to find this out, but I mash Gorge Void.
I think that's what most people did for a long time. Only within like a year or so, we've gotten a tool that actually tells you what frame it was. But now we have like a practice tool that'll be like, oh, you were a frame early, you were a frame late. And it's absurd how much better people have gotten. I think
setup
one
list,
of my...
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Setup list is the only way to go.
I know it's standard. It's just beautiful every time I see it.
So I was talking earlier, you know, LJAs. They're like super cool, visually appealing tricks. And they're like some of the freest tricks in the game. And I just think it's hilarious. Oh man. That
the front camera.
Yeah, this is not good. I can't see if I'm popped up or not. I think if I'm in,
I think you just got popped. You just got popped, I think.
Oh my gosh, I failed this trick for the first time in 4 months. Oh, okay.
So this is Pillar Clip. This is the trick that made me not want to learn Twilight Princess for a couple of years.
I'm sorry that I couldn't make it look easy for you.
Well, I think it's easy now.
I generally do too, but I feel like I can't say that now.
Basically, you you wedge yourself as Link rises into this little space in between the pillar and the wall, and it pushes Link out of bounds during Midna text. You technically don't need the Midna text to do it, but it makes it markedly easier to clip because Link doesn't move. And then you just go out of bounds into Lakebed Temple early. And Ike is doing the very fast setup-less version, which requires you to not use visual cues, and it's much more difficult that way. There we go. And then you Iron Boots swim out of bounds in order to make it to this loading zone. Nice.
It's really simple, but it's very... The way I've always described tricks in this game is every trick is really easy to do, really hard to learn, and really easy to mess up. If that makes any sense. Like
all the tricks should be, they make sense in theory.
Yeah. And once you get them down, I find most of them to have a 90% to 99% success ratio. But just you don't pay attention for 1 second and now you failed the trick, right? You can't sleep on any tricks in this game.
Yeah.
But they're all simpler than they seem. I think that trick is a very good example of that, as a lot of people stress out about it and oh my god, the air is so close, it's so tight, and it's just yeah, but I'm just tapping Y to a rhythm.
Very rarely drowning is very rarely the reason you fail the trick.
Yeah. Every now and then, maybe.
Sure.
But
the loading zone is not where you think it is. I will say,
yeah,
that's one of the big things. You're where is the loading zone?
Yeah. This is one of the bigger changes to the new route. For a long time, we did a super cool LJA. It's the LJA that I saw and was man, this speedrun is so cool. I'm going to pick up this game and I'm going to speedrun it.
It is cool.
Turns out it's faster to just walk around.
What? No, wait. That's actually so disappointing.
Yeah.
That's my favorite LJA in the run.
Yeah, but it's gone now.
How is that?
We walk around
faster? Now. That's so sad. You still get to do the dive?
Nope, we do that now. Oop.
That
the
would
bonk
explain
was
why it's faster.
Intentional. Oh my god. What a punk.
So the flag that Ike had set to get early monkeys is actually still applied to his save file because he hasn't turned the console off. And so it's called the early boss flag, basically. And so he can activate the Deku Toad fight without going all the way through the first half of Lakebed, which is genuinely so good. This skips the most annoying tricks.
Yeah, the HD version, unfortunately, I think still has to go through this room.
Yes. Nice 1 cycle.
When I'm failing tricks I normally don't fail for whatever reason, this is the trick where I'm just like, please don't fail it. Because I
take you toad 1 cycle?
Yes, because it's a 6 frame window, and I swear it's like my nemesis. It always creeps up on me as the trick that I fail.
It's hard.
It is.
It's just a rhythm.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of stuff in this game is just a rhythm.
Why did people LJ in the first place then? I think that like side hop slide thing wasn't known, and it also just felt really fast.
It did feel way faster. I think the other thing is that it made because we're gonna return to Lake Bed later because we actually have to kill Morpheal to continue the run. It is a requirement. And one of the things that we can do is I just Uku'd out. I'm going to use the Uku again later to come back and kill Morpheal. And the Lake Bed boss is very interesting in the fact that it's the only dungeon in the game that we can skip the boss key to. And the boss key skip setup is faster when you do this setup. So it ends up affecting your second trip to Lake Bed as well.
Hey gamers, did you know, and this is genuinely true, you might be shocked to hear this, but it is true. Ike does not just stream once every couple months on this channel. He also streams almost every day on his own channel. I know this is shocking. I was shocked when I heard this. I thought Ike only existed within the realm of GDQ, but it's actually not true. So please do yourself a favor and go to twitch.tv/SwiftIke and enjoy Twilight Princess content on the regular. The link will be posted in the chat intermittently throughout our show. And if you're on YouTube, the link is in the description. You know the drill. You're at an ADF show, you follow the runner. It's just how it works.
I do appreciate the shout out. I do also have an event coming up that I want to shout out just a little bit.
Is it your annual thing?
Yes, I have lots of annual things now. I have, I have a charity event that I do every July, but May the 3rd, so 2 days from now, is my partner anniversary. I will have been a partner for 1 year.
Congrats.
I am celebrating with an uncapped subathon because I am crazy.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those recently.
I'm frightened of that concept.
I promise I've been planning this for so long. I keep seeing people showing up with new subathons and I'm just like, guys, stop.
Stop, it's my turn, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Well, don't miss.
Can't all do subathons. I had this idea.
This is my idea. We need to have a message board for Twitch partners where you can just be like, hey, everybody, just so everybody knows, this is my idea.
I was doing this, guys.
Yeah, follow SwiftIke. That sounds awesome. Subathons are like so fun and really engaging. And I deserve your support.
I think the thing about subathons that I really like is it gives, especially people within the speedrunning community, the opportunity to not just play the one game that they're known for indefinitely. Because that's like kind of the expectation, right? Is that you can't just play that for 24 hours straight, right? But I've seen a lot of people do subathons recently, and you get to watch them do their workout routine, and you get to watch them do cooking streams, and it's fun. It's fun getting to see that streamers are not just people living in a box in like streamer voids. That's what I like about them, at least. So I'm excited to be a person with a camera.
I will tell you that I will never, ever do an uncapped subathon. So if you want your fill of that, you should go to Ike's stream. I will never put myself through that. I also don't want anyone to watch me sleep. That sounds horrible.
So I actually did a poll my partner had the idea of, what if instead of putting the camera on you, we just, our cats sleep in like a big kennel? What if we just wheeled the kennel on camera? I was like, that sounds way more comfortable, actually.
Yeah, I happen to know that I talk in my sleep quite frequently. And I also happen to know that I move around a lot while I sleep. So I just don't want to expose myself as I don't want to say anything I shouldn't while I'm asleep because I don't know what's said.
Yeah, you're just going to wake up in the morning and your Twitch account is banned.
And I'm like, what happened? What happened?
I was asleep. Come on, Twitch.
You can't be canceled for being asleep. LOL. But yeah, you should absolutely check out Ike. It's very worth your time.
I'm excited to do a bunch of fun stuff for the people. And hopefully it's going to be a good time. All right, so I did have to skip that mailman again, unfortunately. Take a shot every time someone says that it's Clint.
You would never
want to
die. Would die. You would die. This is not Clint Stevens, though he should have as many followers as Clint Stevens. I will say that.
Have I told you the full Clint Stevens story?
I think so. I think it came up when you were on Challenger Approaching last year.
Okay. But the TLDR, the TLDR is essentially just that I started streaming and I was speedrunning, and I was watching Clint Stevens, but I wasn't like trying to copy him or anything. And then everyone was just like, oh my God, did you know you look like Clint Stevens? And I was like, I do. And then my girlfriend's like, yeah, you actually like really do. And I was like, oh, okay. And then just that has followed me throughout my entire Twitch career as just the guy who kind of looks like Clint Stevens. And I can never escape it.
It is so funny to me because everybody pops in and oh, it's Clint Stevens. That's my favorite trick in the run, by the way.
It's a pretty cool trick. I'd have to say that I'm a big fan.
It's like bread and butter speedrunning. It's like getting on top of obstacles in a cool way, jumping over voids.
And then this is just like another classic situation where it looks like I'm running around in a psychopathic pattern. But actually, there's a big enemy trigger there. And if I were to bonk into it, I would set all of Kakariko to a state that is very bad. I would not be able to move around within Kakariko the way I wanted to anymore.
You like genuinely lose your run.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So we are going to take a break here. I think this is a good spot. Yeah, this is the end of the gauntlet is right here. So we will be taking a small commercial break.
Typically, we would not take a break during PB Precipice runs, but given the length of this one, we're gonna do it. So gamers, do not go anywhere. We'll have more Twilight Princess, more Clint. I mean Swift Ike. Ha ha ha. LOL. Funny joke. We'll have more Swift Ike in just a second. Don't go anywhere. Just get up, stretch your legs, and get some water, and we'll be right back. All the glasses. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GDQ Hotfix. I just took a bite of a tortilla at the wrong time, and I have a big bite of tortilla in my mouth right now. But Your subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits help support weekly Hotfix content. Please consider supporting our daily content if you enjoy these Hotfix shows. And Games Done Quick Highlights is a channel that features highlights of our GDQ Hotfix shows. Use the !highlights command to learn more about our highlights. Ike, take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, are we ready to go? I was just showcasing how to cheer bits. All right.
Oh, that's how you cheer bits. Nice.
Yeah, you gotta type, like pride and then a number and then bits. Look at that. So 3, 2, 1, and back to speedrunning.
I would like your opinion on this, Ike, because I think it's not a very normal snack. Also, for what it's worth, hello everyone, this is PB Precipice. I'm ADEF. We're showing off Ike doing PB attempts at Twilight Princess, but it's kind of just turned into a wonderful little showcase. I like to eat tortillas like as a snack, like just a tortilla by itself.
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
A very yummy flour tortilla is like a very nice snack in my opinion, but I don't know.
Isn't it just like a softer cracker?
What was that?
Wouldn't that just be like a softer cracker?
Kind of, yeah, like a soft tortilla chip, basically, but a very big soft tortilla chip. And there's not very much salt in it, which is nice. It's just like, I don't know, I guess it's just like fat and carbs. The makings of a great snack.
I love fat and carbs.
That's what I'm talking about.
All I had before this, because this was very early, as we are gamers who stay up way too late, gaming. I had something called a breakfast essential, which is just like milk and some powder. That's my go-to meal of the day.
Wow.
I don't eat very much. It's actually, fun fact, one of the most difficult parts that I found about being a streamer. Because when you're a streamer, you gotta be relatable. And everyone's like, man, I love this food. What are your thoughts? And I'm just like, man, I don't eat anything. I barely eat.
Like, are you picky?
Yes, but I also just like have no desire to eat food, like at any given time.
I have met people before like this where eating food is like a chore. Like they do it every day so that they stay healthy.
Yeah, I don't like dying. This run is cursed. This like never happens.
But it's just like, yeah, they don't enjoy, like eating food is not an activity for them. Whereas for me, like eating is my #1 absolute favorite part of being alive. Like I am not even messing with you. Eating is my #1 favorite thing.
I love eating as an activity with friends because it's just so... I moved the steak on accident. When you go out with friends to eat, it's a nice activity. You have something to talk about. There's no awkward silence. There's no awkward, like, when should we be done? Because you're done when the food is done, sort of thing. I love going out to eat with friends and family. But if I was left to my own devices, I would eat top ramen and pizza and breakfast essentials and probably not be on the planet as long as I could.
Well, thank God your wife is around.
Yeah, she's very kind to me. She loves cooking, so it works out. That's like, she is somebody who loves eating food and like enjoys the art of making food. Alright, I'm gonna go for...
Oh yeah, do it.
Difficult trick. It's called Wolf Bomb House Skip. It's like extremely precise, so hopefully I don't mess it up. Like that. Well, it was a nice try. A good attempt. I'm still going to do the trick, which is make this house disappear. But you can do it as a wolf, instead of transforming to a human. But I unfortunately must have tapped a slightly wrong angle, causing Wolflink to do that weird, like, up-left jump attack. I've actually never seen that angle of jump attack before. I didn't know that angle of jump attack was possible. So that's in GDQ fashion.
New tech. So I have a friend who also bomb house skip is my other favorite trick. I think it's wonderful.
It's very cool.
I have a friend who also really likes eating as an activity, but he goes a step further. His favorite thing is like restaurants where there is an activity associated with the food, like hibachi or the melting pot, like fondue, where there's some kind of physical activity combined, some like dinner and a show, basically.
Yeah.
So we're always looking for places like that where like there is some kind of activity associated with the food.
You mentioned earlier, my wife. We really wanted. I got married like a month ago, so that's why it's worth bringing up.
The word is still fresh.
Yes. I was definitely like, oh yeah, that's a word, huh? Because I actually called her my girlfriend like earlier on the show.
Well, I saw your wedding ring, and that's what reminded me.
Oh yeah. I would do it. Can you climb this? So for our wedding, we wanted to specifically have the food be an activity so that we wouldn't have to like have an activity after the food. So we went to Korean barbecue. That is by far our activity food of choice.
Okay, Korean barbecue might be the best food as an activity option.
It's so good.
It's so good and so satisfying. Oh, KBBQ rocks.
It was a very enjoyable experience.
Oh, drawing on tables with paper covers. That's a good food as an activity. That's a good one. Local pizza place when I was a kid had that.
The other food activity place that we have nearby here is, wait, I'm supposed to get this. I know what I'm doing. I'm like, I've been having this problem for a majority of the run where I'm actually having too nice of a time just chatting with you, that I'm not paying a lot of attention to the game. I've done this a lot.
I just want people to have a nice time and forget about their speedruns.
Which is super working. I'm having a very nice time.
Good.
Despite the run not being PB Precipice.
Precipice.
I was trying to. I'm not a word guy that, more of an action.
Precipice is something else. I have a question for chat, actually, because I recently remembered this restaurant from my childhood, and I think it's just a local Kansas City chain, because I'm from Kansas City. But it is food as an activity, and it's called Fritz's. And Fritz's is like a fast casual burger place. It's like just not fast food. And the idea behind Fritz's, and I have to know if this exists other places in the Midwest or like whatever, but basically you order food from like and this is not that uncommon. You like press a button on a speaker on the wall and you like use an intercom to order food from your table. That exists at like lots of diners in the Midwest. But here's the thing about Fritz's that's different. When you order the food, the cooks, there's no servers because the cooks in the back wrap your food and put it on a train. And then this model train goes up into the ceiling, and there are railroad tracks in the ceiling. And the trains go around the railroad tracks to your table and dump the burgers like a supply load, like a care package, down to your table. It happens slowly.
Sounds extremely cool.
It is genuinely, as a kid, like you're like, oh, we gotta go to Fritz's. Does Fritz's exist anywhere else, or is it like just Kansas City?
I've never heard of Fritz's.
I know it's not on the West Coast. That much I know. Maybe I should just Google it. If you're ever in Kansas City, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the best burger in KC, not even close, but it's fun.
The food not that great, but man, they got those cool trains.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's like a fine steak burger.
That's okay. I have a similar like pizza place thing. I guess the thing for me about this pizza place is just that they have really good crust. I feel like most places do not have good crust.
Yeah.
But everyone's got to have like their favorite, like this is my restaurant.
Fritz's is not my restaurant, to be clear.
It's not your well, you talked about it with so much passion.
Well, I haven't been since I was 10 years old. I haven't been since I was 10. But I just remember it so fondly. Also, looking it up, it seems it is only in Kansas City.
Nice.
If you're in Kansas City and you want a burger, you should go to Westport Flea Market.
All right, I'll write this down. I'm sure I'll visit there someday. I was in your chat one time a while ago, and you said something to me that is probably the most accurate statement anyone's ever said.
Oh, I know what this is about to be.
Yeah. You called me a extremely strongly opinionated person. I think it was something just like I have a lot of passion about every opinion.
You do.
And I think I could say the same thing to you. Your story about the burger, this burger place with the train, and I'm just like, oh man, I can tell this has a very close space in his heart. He loves this burger train.
I haven't been in 15
and he's been there. Yep. It was great when I was a kid, and I loved it.
Well, it's not about the food, it's about the experience. I remember the experience very fondly, and there are people in chat that are saying that it sounds fun as an adult. I agree. I think I would go back and be excited about the trains.
I think if I were to go, since I have never been before, I'd be super pumped, and then I would not go again because I've already seen the train, you know?
Sure. I think as an adult, it's probably a one-time experience.
Yeah, there's just some stuff in life that is, you need to see it once. It's one of the greatest things to see once.
On
you
the
don't
list,
need to see it twice.
Great Pyramids of Giza, the Leaning Tower, or Great Pyramids of Giza, Leaning Tower of Pisa, Eiffel Tower, and Fritz's tracks. Fritz's trains.
Right. They're all on a similar
These are the
scale.
same echelon.
Wow, it was good RNG, sort of.
Being from
these
Omaha, we
bugs
go
are
to KC just for
completely
food. Yeah. Hell yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you for Kansas City
you're good.
in the chat.
I actually, the more that I do events like this, the more I realize that I have so much respect for people like Gymnast. Because that guy can perfectly execute tricks while just giving a full explanation of everything that's going on for any game that he's ever played as many times as needed. And I really struggle at this point in my life as someone who's been speedrunning this game for 2 years and on many shows now, where I'm just like, the game just happens. The game is definitely...
I don't know. There's not that much to explain in Twilight Princess for the middle hour. Like, the two Twilight sections are pretty much just moving around and collecting bugs. Every once in a while, there'll be an LJA or something, but there's really nothing happening that isn't explicitly happening on screen and pretty obvious.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
But even earlier, I was struggling to, like...
It's hard.
I'd be doing tricks, and I'd be like, man, I should probably explain this, but we're talking about... whatever we were talking about earlier. It's been 40 minutes already. I don't have that kind of attention span.
But also, like,
what happened.
You know, leaning on your commentators is fine too. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, 100%. I think I think if I were to do this on like a bigger scaled event, I would be like 4 people, just like dedicated to the first hour, and then you're all good. Go home.
There's a lot going on in the first hour. Here, I can explain something. Look, Ike tilts the camera downwards, or rather upwards, because did you know that there's quite a lot of polygons in Hyrule Field and a lot of actors loaded? So tilting the camera down reduces lag and saves probably a couple frames. Yay.
It's like actually a couple frames. When you come back here later for Minda's Darkest Hour, you don't do that because it's no longer lagging. That's how little it lags. It's just the little squares cause the lag.
Wait, it doesn't lag in MDH?
No.
Oh.
It is just...
I've definitely been tilting the camera down in that section.
Oh, I did for a long time. And someone was like, yeah, you don't have to do this. There's actually like no lag.
Here's a question.
Sure.
When you have two Shadow Beasts left in a fight like this, and one of them is close to one of the walls, how are you forcing attacking the other one first? Because I find that it feels random sometimes.
It is completely based on the order that you target them.
Oh, so
always
the one you
target them
first.
reverse. Yep.
Reverse?
So if I target the one at the wall first, because that's the one you're going to hit second.
Oh, so it is in reverse order. Okay.
Yes. You want to target the guy at the wall first every time, so that you will always hit him second.
I learned something new.
Yeah.
Ike, what's this? Why are you going through Castletown like this?
Because some developer working on this game thought it would be super cool to put one bug in Castletown.
I didn't mean why are you in Castletown?
Oh.
I was trying to get you to explain the wolf dashing.
Oh. Well, it's slow in Castletown to do full dashes because you lose your dash speed almost instantly. But if you do a B attack after dashing, you'll interrupt your dash and get it back. And the only part of the dash that's fast in Castletown is the initial dash. So it's faster to cancel it. You can actually cancel a dash, a wolf dash with anything. So if you jump off a ledge, you'll cancel it and get it back. Do a B attack. If you do an A attack, basically anything that cancels it, you'll get your dash back. And that's used a lot throughout the run to save frames. You can also cancel it in the water with the C stick by C-upping after you do your water dash, which is used twice in the run. I don't remember if I used it or not this run though.
This is a cool way to do this bug room that I should learn, where you let the first bug come to you.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of new people recently, and I think watching new runners is one of my favorite things to do as a speedrunner, because high-level runs at this point in time they're all the same, right? We have optimized this game and crossed every team. So it's really nice watching people who are new doing like slightly different stuff. And it's crazy how much of a difference it makes in time. Like, people who learn this game tend to learn all of the tricks first and like really prioritize those. And I think 9 out of 10 times they're losing far more time on the second half of the run with like 2 tricks total, because they just never figured out how to like do proper walking movement in certain rooms.
I mean, it's interesting that you say that. I pulled up my splits just so like I speedrun this game, but not well and not very often, because I learned it for the 3D Zelda challenge specifically. I learned Hundo later, which is a different story, but regardless, I have a 340 something. Anyway, so my PB is like 40 minutes slower than Ike's, but at the hour mark, I was only 10 minutes behind. And so like, it's things like that when you're comparing splits to a better runner, where you can see like, wow, I'm losing a lot of time in the second half or in the last 2/3, like more than I should be per minute.
And it's crazy because the first half is like just so much harder in a sense.
I think that's because I practice it more. Right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I practice the hard stuff more than the easy stuff, and then you lose time without really paying attention.
Exactly. I actually tell people, because whenever people pick up the game, I'm live on Twitch a lot, at twitch.tv/SwiftTyke.
There you go. It's links in the chat.
And people are asking, like, do you have any tips? And the first tip that I always give people is to learn the game in reverse. I think that is one of the smartest things you can do. Is if you start optimizing Hyrule Castle and then Palace of Twilight and then City in the Sky, right? If you work your way backwards, you'll be so much better than the people who learn the other way. Because you're just going to be... Because like it's just easier to learn the end game, right? Like the early game kind of drains people. I know when I learned the early game, I spent a week learning... is that the wrong spot to jump? That's fine.
Did you just miss the waterfall?
Yeah, I just missed the waterfall. I'm having a nice time chatting. It's early. I'm fine, though. I lived.
Good.
I promise I'm a top runner of this game.
I believe it. I know it.
But, yeah, you'll get good because the late game is easier than the early game, is the point of what I'm saying. This is our only song in the entire run, which is the real reason any percent or 100% is the superior category. So you have to play all 7 songs.
I do like Hundo more than any percent personally. I like any percent a lot, but Hundo, it's hard at this point in my life to dedicate 7 to 9 hours to anything uninterrupted. But in the early pandemic when I had that time, it was really fun. Also, practicing Hundo was like so meditative.
It's a very nice game. I still think it's probably my favorite category, like even to spectate. It's just so nice. Because it provides so many opportunities to just relax. And then the relaxing is interrupted with extremely cool tricks. And it's just, it has a really nice flow to it.
I've been obsessed with TP Hundo for like probably 9 years.
It's a good category.
Demon,
I think it's at the best state that it's ever been too.
I would agree. I have these like really distinct memories. So even though I am quite young, I am a big old boy for speedrunning. I've been around a very, very long time. And I remember very specifically, I would be at school. This is in 2013, like early 2013. I'd be at school and I'd be able to like, I'd have moments to sneak onto my phone and I would just watch Demon do TP Hundo. And this was in 2013. And I was like, oh my God, he's been playing for 5 hours. That's so long. Nowadays, I'm like, what? A 12-hour run? Okay. Oh, good luck.
There we go. This is one of the new tricks. I just needed to pay attention to the audio cue there. Good to go.
Nice work.
Are you familiar with this trick at all?
I am not. So this is your territory.
So what I did there is something we found very, very recently, where we can warp away from her rather than what we used to do, where we had to uku away. And this allows us to go here and do another frame perfect trick that I get one attempt at, called Norgore. I'm going to try and focus for a sec. Where's my setup? There it is. And I did not get it. F's in the chat. I was like 2 frames early. But essentially, during that cutscene, if I drop the bomb won't die in the water. And it'll just sink down and blow up the rock, allowing me to continue the run, saving about a minute over the old route. But now I have to do probably my like favorite and least favorite part of this run, and I was really glad that it was gone because it was super confusing. But I have to go here and put 30 bombs in this hole.
Yeah, so how bomb bags work in Twilight Princess is that there are several different bomb bags you can get, but each bomb bag explicitly can only hold one type of bomb at a time. So there's bomb chews, bombs, and water bombs. And Ike needs to get rid of all his bombs so that he can fill his bomb bag with these 10 water bombs. And this is just because he has to then go back and go get that bomb bag from the Goron that is stuck under Zora's domain.
Yep. So that trick that I tried to do earlier would have allowed me to get the bomb bag with the regular bomb bag, and that's where Norgor is normal bomb Goron bomb bag. It's... I have to have a command and explain it like every day.
Good trick name.
What's a Norgor? So it makes no sense. But now that I'm back, I can go to the bottom and free the Goron friend.
And you need 2 bomb bags because the one you have is not real, correct?
Yes, the one that I currently have is a Lent bomb bag because I stole it from Isa. The Lent bomb bag, when you die or save and quit, will just disappear from your inventory.
All right, you have to explain the rocket link.
So he already gave you the name. That is a trick called Rocket Link. The game really does not like it when you swim with water bombs because you're not supposed to ever be swimming with bombs. So it assumes in that scenario that I must be on land. And because I must be on land, it teleports me to the top of the water.
Ike is preparing for something called map glitch. So he was doing the method where you unplug your controller and buffer the inputs and then plug your controller back in. For some reason, fun fact, that does not work on my console. I have never been able to figure out why, but it does not work. So I have to time it. I'm dead serious. I have looked into this. I cannot figure it out. Whatever. It's fine.
There's no way.
It's either my console or my controller. I'm unsure.
I would put what's the phrase? Dollars to
donuts.
Yes, I bet you a lot of money that it's your controller. The GameCube D-pad is notorious.
The idea basically is that Swift Ike calls Midna and pulls up the map on the same frame, hence map glitch, and you attempt to warp away using the map. And the warp is interrupted by Midna. And so you move around in this sort of like warp state. And what this changes about the game is that you can't void out when this is happening. And if you recall casually, this area is supposed to sort of be like Gerudo Valley in Ocarina of Time. It's like you got to follow the right path, and you know the right path by getting the reekfish scent. So there's this whole side quest to get the reekfish scent, the coral earring, all that stuff. To get through this area. So map glitch lets you skip all of that. You never have to get the fishing rod, which is a huge part of that. It's a wonderful trick. The only problem is if you try to dig with Wolflink into another loading zone while map glitch is active, your game will crash.
Your game does not crash.
It's soft locks.
Dig infinitely.
And so there's a hole right here. And so
that we need to go through.
Ike uses the Song Stone to reset map glitch to get it away.
Yeah, because it would be a shame if this run died to me digging in that hole.
Have you ever accidentally dug the hole? I've never done it.
Not in a run, but I totally have in a randomizer. And it was so sad because I was like 4 hours into a rando and I had never saved. Please don't hit me. Thank you. I actually need a heart or I will die because I have a void here. That thing where I jumped and I fell and took 2 hearts earlier, that's not something I normally have to work around. I really hope I got that though. Sweet. But
so
I now have to...
Yeah, you should explain that one.
Sure. There is a Shadow Beast portal here that you can jump around, allowing you to not have to fight the Shadow Beast very fast. But the unfortunate side effect is that it also is what clears the like fog up here, like the misty fog. So I now have to go down the mountain almost entirely blind. Sorry, I keep looking at chat and chuckling. The double Clint Stevens in a row. We should have a counter.
Yeah. Anybody willing to count? There's definitely been at least 20 by this point. He's his own man.
I don't mind it that much because, like, at least Clint's really funny. And, you know, most people tend to think that he's a nicer looking dude on the internet. But it is pretty funny the amount that I see it whenever I'm in a new space like this. I'm not even wearing my flannel. I also put on glasses in the middle of the run.
Yeah, that's not helping.
So the reason I wear glasses is they are prescription glasses. I just have a very small prescription, so I don't really need them, but they have a blue light lens. And blue light blocking stuff doesn't actually help a ton.
Helps me a lot.
So they did a study. The thing about it that helps people is actually that it makes you blink more. And when you blink more, your eyes are less dry. And I tend to not blink when I'm speedrunning, and my eyes get very strained. So, learned something today.
What? But
that's why I put the glasses on.
But blue light, it's like genuinely bad for your eyes, though.
But the blocker doesn't do much. Doesn't do as much as people think.
I mean, it does block some. I mean, it's not going to block all blue light, obviously. I'll flex my master's degree in optical physics for 1 second here just to say that it does do something.
Yes. Also, I didn't know you had a master's degree in optical physics. That's extremely cool.
I do have that.
I do love talking with other, you know, streamers, content creators, etc. Or just like gamers, actually. And most of the time you're like, oh yeah, how was that new Overwatch patch? Did you see the game last night? But it's like League of Legends and not NFL or something. And then people are like, oh yeah, and I have a degree in optical physics. And you're just like, huh.
Interesting.
So you didn't like the patch?
No, I didn't get the drops I wanted. Also, that was a relatively new trick back there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is fairly new and very cool, but unfortunately, it means you go into this room in a different way. I need to die now.
Oh, and freezer skip after you die is so much worse.
Yeah. I have been struggling with this trick for a while.
Freezer skip is one of those where you go through phases, I feel like.
Yeah. Doesn't like the optics of flexing his degree. That's a good one.
I don't, actually. I don't. It feels like I'm bragging, but like it also, I think there's also nice. There's this mentality, I feel like people hear that I have degrees in physics and they're like, oh, that's so nuts. But like truly, I feel like anybody could like, I don't know. Like, was it hard? Sure. But like, I feel like anybody, if they applied themselves, could get a degree in really anything.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel about like speedrunning stuff too. You know, if we're bringing it back to speedrunning, going all the way around. I feel like there's this weird, I want to say aura. There's this weird aura of speedrunning. That being able to speedrun is like this insane thing. But I actually find speedrunning way easier than a lot of the other games that I've tried to be good at over the years. Like, if you ever tried to be good at like Super Smash Brothers Melee, it's impossible.
Yes, I have tried to get good at Melee. I've tried to get good at CSGO. It's just a very different skill set. It's a very different skill set.
And the other thing is that one of the parts, like one of the things you have to get good at, is dealing with another person, which like isn't a thing in speedrunning. You have a very clear goal. You are fighting a game rather than another person, and you can like watch yourself improve. I feel that with speedrunning, if you have enough time, there is nothing that you can't do.
I would agree with that. I think there's definitely people who have implicit like talent in certain things, no doubt. Like there are just people that are better at certain things just naturally. But I believe the saying is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yep.
That's the classic. You'll see that on the back of everyone's shirts at a cross-country meet in any given state in the country.
That's a hot 8 effect.
Yeah, that one and any quote by Steve Prefontaine, which, to be fair, Steve Prefontaine has some good quotes, but...
I like kind of want you to explain who this is now, because I don't even know who this is. But I feel...
Steve Prefontaine is a very famous distance runner from like the 80s and the 90s, I think. I don't know, he's before my time. I think he tragically died like 10 or 15 years ago or something, but he just has all these like very quotable quotes that cross-country coaches and managers like to be like, get this. It's like, it's just shirt fodder. But some of them are good. One of them I really like is to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift.
That is, oh my gosh, I love that. It's such a quote.
Right? Like, how did somebody say that? How did a person, I was a person like, I will say this now.
Now is the natural time for this sentence.
Wow, wait, this setup is so sick.
Yeah, it's like way faster too.
The iron boots to get through the stick. What?
Yeah, very cool. All right, so this is the part of the run that is probably the most notorious, I would argue. God, there's a lot of notorious things.
I hate Morpheal without Zora armor. I hate it.
But yeah, I don't have Zora armor, so I have to try and kill an entirely underwater boss without the ability to breathe underwater.
The coincidence,
and it's also entirely random.
The coincidence that your air meter is just enough to sink to the bottom is so funny to me.
Oh, don't do this to me, eyeball.
Okay, so Ike is gonna do this thing here where he pulls water bombs out while like unequipping the iron boots. And he does this by equipping the water bombs over the iron boots slot to pull them and to like unequip the iron boots instantly. And by the same token for which Ike is able to like rocket Link up to the top of water, you can also release the water bombs to refill Link's air meter by the same principle that like the game assumes you've just exited and re-entered water. So like he waits here and he's gonna drop the water bomb at the like time he believes is most optimal. And then
that was very inoptimal, but good enough.
And now he has an option to either try to one-cycle this, or now, yeah, just unfortunate that Morpheal went up.
My bomb count, or my bomb timing there was already pretty bad, so I had to go down. So what was unfortunate was that she turned around there. She just like randomly decided that she should swim the other direction. So there would have been no way for me to get her attention. And now I have to get eated. Yes.
Wow, delicious. Getting eaten as like as a strat so that it puts you right there. That's actually smart.
Well, like, what's my other option? Go back down?
No, yeah, I just didn't. I would not have thought of that.
All right.
Nice, nice, nice.
That could have gotten so much worse. So I'm just happy that Morpheal is dead. This is the point of the run where there is the stress leaves the body.
Yes,
and we just go back to talking about food trains and the mental game of speed running. And
dude, post-morphine is like when I take a breath of fresh air. I'm like, oh,
which
it's
is
all
ironic
over.
because you're underwater.
Yes, well.
Oh yeah, huge cutie. Love Morpheal. How do we know Morpheal is a she? Referred to by text in one of the books as a she.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Some Nintendo officially licensed guide or something.
I don't actually know. She's a queen. I don't know.
Yes, queen.
She slays.
Morpheal definitely slays Link often. He dies to her quite frequently.
Top runners. So pretty much speedrunning this game at the highest level is a combination of two things. Throwing as many runs to Morpheal as possible, like at Morpheal, and throwing now we have Stallord Skip, so it's throwing as many runs at Stallord Skip as possible.
Stallord Skip's like 2 hours into the run.
It's pretty brutal. Demon claims that it's not that bad, but
Demon should not be your jumping off point for what is and is not approachable in speedrunning.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier like that there are people who are just good at things, and
Demon's one of them.
Demon is very high on that list of people that I just cannot believe how talented he is.
He also works really hard. I mean, like he does a lot of practice.
He's not that quote about like, if you don't have hard work, he is talent and hard work. He has one of the best work ethics of any speedrunner I've ever talked to. And it absolutely shows. But every time I've ever talked to him about any game he's ever played, he's just been a legend at it. Like,
it's true. I
remember one time I brought up RuneScape in his chat, and he was like, oh yeah, I was maxed in RuneScape in like 2009. And I was just like, that takes so long. How are you so good at so many things and also like have time for all of this other incredible stuff? It's just like, wow. I am a huge Demon fanboy. I'm sorry.
I mean, I've been a Demon fanboy since 2012, so I feel you.
He's so good.
There is a RuneScape player. The name escapes me. I've never played RuneScape, but there's a very famous RuneScape player from back in the day, like the most famous RuneScape player from way back. And I found
talking about Zezima or whatever?
We are talking about Zezima, that's right. I found out that a guy that used to be in the... I got my start in speedrunning in Classic Mega Man. And I found out that a guy I used to race with all the time, back in the day on SRL, we'd race like Mega Man 1, 2, whatever. Zezima's his older brother.
That is absurdly cool. Just like coincidentally. Also, I love everyone being like, Zezima? Is that Zezima? Gosh, this is such a weird thought, but I remember in like elementary school when I picked up RuneScape with all my, elementary school friends, and there were just like rumors about like top RuneScape players like Zezima, and there was it was weird. They were like fictional fake gods of just like, oh my god, did you hear Zezima did this thing? Did you? And I, now being older, I'm just like, yeah, it's just a dude who played video games.
Yeah.
But
well, because that's us now. Isn't that weird to think about? Like,
it is.
We're those. It's so strange to me. Like, I, so much of my adolescent years, like my youth was spent being like obsessed with what you would now call a content creator, but like back then that word didn't exist. Right, like these LPers that I looked up to. or like, you know, YouTubers or whatever. And like now, I'm not saying I'm on that same echelon per se, not even close, but people do sometimes come into the chat and say the things I would have said back then. And it is so surreal to me. Like, I don't even know how to react to that because like, it's amazing, but I also am like frightened by the fact that that has happened and I didn't notice it happening, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to explain this feeling, but I know you understand.
Yeah. I understand to a degree. I think the most like crazy story on the scale that I've heard was I was talking with Fino. If you guys don't know Fino, he is
Fino.
like the old boy of Twilight Princess. He was telling me a story about how he was at a GDQ and they're all doing like TP in one of the break rooms or something. And basically like everyone in the room said something about how they got their start watching Fino. And like that Fino got them into speedrunning or TP. And he was just like sitting there with all of his like super close friends. And it was like people, you know, like gymnasts, like big, like people that you would...
We all jumped into Twilight Princess because of Fino. Like, that is just a hard fact.
He was just sitting there like, huh, I'm just a dude playing Zelda games. And
right, like that had never occurred to Fino. Why would it?
Yeah, exactly.
Fino's just a dude.
Yeah. I don't know. That story gave me like the biggest smile when he was telling me it. I was just like, man, dude, that's so
Fino,
cool.
He's good people.
I love that guy. Absolutely love that guy.
I remember watching, before I even got into, I wasn't even in high school yet, and I was watching Fino to No Save Quit. Like,
my first introduction to like major speedrunning stuff was actually my good friend at the time said, yo, this guy, he's speedrunning TP and he's going to the Ganon fight on world record pace. Check this out. And I remember being in a Best Buy and I get on my phone and I pull up Twitch and I watch Fino lose the run to Zelda.
Oh.
It's unfortunate that's the end of the story.
Where were you when Fino accidentally equipped during the Phantom Zelda fight or Puppet Zelda fight?
Oh, man. The crash heard around the world.
The crash heard around the world. I have a very distinct memory of I was 13 practicing my free throws at the basketball hoop in my driveway, deliberating whether I should pick up Twilight Princess or not in my mind, and then ultimately deciding Pillar Clip looks too hard and not doing it.
I feel like that's a trick that's actually only gotten significantly easier. Like, it used to be absurd. Like, the setup.
Well, that's because
it's so hard.
People like Dragonbane and Demon found setups, like good visual cues for easy setups, whereas that did not. Like, there was only setup lists basically, and it wasn't well known how it worked.
I was saying that back in the day, everyone did the setup, and I thought the setup was like way harder. I was never consistent at the setup, and then I put,
you're talking about the thing where you just like swim over where it's supposed to be?
Yeah. With like the visual cues of the wall and stuff. The setup used to be absurd.
The wall visual cues now are really good, I would say. Have you seen Dragonbane's like in-depth videos on the visual cues?
Yeah, that's how I learned.
They're good.
Very good. And then now I just, honestly, Twilight Princess tricks only get easier the harder you make them. I don't know how else to put it. But once I stopped doing the setup and I did setup lists and I stopped using a visual cue and I kind of just go with what feels right, my success rate went up so much higher. Because I stopped worrying about all the little details because the window's a lot bigger than you think it is for like everything in this game. Tricks in this game go wrong when you overthink them.
I actually have a little adage that I've sort of been perpetuating just for myself, but I think it's also valuable for other people to hear it if they're trying to get into speedrunning. And I'm sure you've experienced this.
Yeah.
Let's say there is a trick that is really hard and it's an hour in, but you've practiced it really extensively. I find for myself, obviously we can talk for hours about how important mentality is in speedrunning, but this specific microcosm, this specific micro event is like, if you are afraid of the trick that is coming up, you will miss it every time. Like, you cannot be afraid. I don't know how to like better explain it, but like when I get in my head about a trick that's coming up, I'm like, oh man, it would suck to miss that. If I say that in my brain, I will miss it.
Every time.
Like, it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, you can't be afraid of it. You can't let yourself get in your head about it. You're just like, oh, well, I practice it, so hopefully it goes well.
Yep. I don't even try and say that. I try to not think about tricks whatsoever.
Yeah, it's better to just mindlessly, like, robot your way through it if possible.
But it's obviously, like, you know, hard.
I think to learn the wolf movement here.
I have some setups I can show you.
Yeah.
I actually have setups I can show anyone who's ever interested. I do a lot of coaching lesson. Oh my gosh, I'm not targeting him. Never mind. I don't coach anything.
But if you want to learn how to speedrun TP, a good place to start is to just watch runs. And if you want to watch a lot of runs in TP, whether it be any percent or hundo, or maybe, God willing, all dungeons at some point, you should go to twitch.tv/swiftike.
It's a good time. Lots of talking about not the speedrun, but also we talk about the speedrun sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that's actually my favorite thing about speedrunning is that you get to a point when you speedrun the same game all the time where you stop needing to worry about the game and you are basically a just chatting streamer with a game on the screen. And you're just kind of sitting there having a wonderful time, hanging out with your favorite people. Just, how's your day? How's life?
It is interesting.
And then sometimes you PB.
The streaming meta has evolved. All the biggest streamers now are just chatting people.
Yeah. They're just chatters, and I could go on and on and on about streamer meta.
Yeah, I don't think nobody cares. I don't like you and I would care about that, but I think very few people who, if you're not a full-time streamer, that conversation I think is not very interesting. But for us, it's all we think about.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not interesting at all. I think the evolution of content has been kind of fun to see. Like challenge content, for example, has just like speedrunning. I feel used to be interesting in a sense that it was not very common, but now speedrunning is just like a thing, right? Everyone knows about speedrunning,
right?
So now you got to do speedrunning with, you know, weird challenges. What if the floor was lava?
Somebody was ahead of the curve on challenge runs being good. I don't know who it was, but you know.
Was it Adif? Should we also follow Adif?
I don't know. But yeah, it is. And also, like, I don't know. The one thing I think I really struggle with, like, obviously everybody should be diversifying content platforms. And, like, that's fine and good and whatever. I'm very bad at coming up with good thumbnails. I can make a thumbnail if somebody gives me the idea, like I'm perfectly proficient at Photoshop for it. But I cannot, I don't know how to make an engaging thumbnail. I don't know what's like, I make something I think is good and then, you know.
I have talked in length about this with a couple of other larger content creators. And the tips that I have been given is that the simpler the thumbnail, probably the better that it is, right?
Right, like, sure, less stuff going on.
Yeah, you want it to just be like a picture of what's happening, sort of. And then like blur the background a little bit, throw a white highlight on there, maybe a red arrow, and then a question face. Mark. Yeah. Make a pog face. There you go. You're an expert YouTube thumbnailer.
There's also the Veritasium video that I recommend every content creator watch, especially if you're in the education space. That's all about like he tracked his analytics for months, changing the titles and thumbnails of his YouTube videos as he went, even after the upload date. And it's really interesting what he found to be good. I highly recommend the video. Also, really quick.
Love a link at some point.
Yeah, I'll pull it up and I'll DM it to you. That trick that just happened, Swiftike got map glitch again and then went under the Bublin camp to get into the King Bublin fight from below, because the trigger for that cutscene extends downwards.
Yes, it actually extends indefinitely downwards and upwards, I believe.
As do a lot of loading zones in 3D Zelda games for some reason.
Yeah, they just like saying that it's on a plane. They're just like, yeah, it's there, it's around. And that's enough for them.
Oh, we got another on the Clint Stevens counter.
What are we at now, 26?
I don't know,
27?
something like that.
It's okay. I've played into it enough. So I'm gonna do a pretty fun little trick here. I gotta move first. Called Poe 1 skip. Normally, you need to smell this Poe and get the scent to be able to go get all the other Poes. But we found a way to like just go straight to the 4th Poe, and for whatever reason it doesn't check for this first Poe. It just assumes you have to kill it. So we're only gonna kill 3 Poes.
Someone posted in chat, I don't know what Clint Stevens is, and at this point I'm afraid to ask.
Honestly, Googling Clint Stevens is like kind of terrifying, so.
It's a dude.
Yeah, he's a guy. He looks similar to me. He also speedruns Zelda. Well, I mean, he did. Now he
is one of those.
On a novel.
He's one of those aforementioned streamers.
Yes, he's a streamer guy.
He's a streamer guy. Also, I genuinely. This is the first time I've ever seen that claw shot target. I did not know you could save yourself.
Yeah, you can totally save yourself. I don't normally have to. But you know how earlier you were like, man, I sure hope I don't fail a trick. You know,
you were thinking about Poe 1.
This is a trick that I go between never failing and always failing, like every other day. I don't know. I did.
It's a hard trick, especially the like setupless version that you're doing.
Yeah, it's tough, and also not very forgiving. I'm gonna respond to this. How do you not need to pee in 3 hours? I actually need to pee about every 15 minutes, and we only have one easy bathroom break in this game, which is the Morpheal fight. I previously was running 100%, and I actually tried implementing rules to 100% to allow for more bathroom breaks. I would love to see a shift in speedrunning overall to allow for more bathroom breaks, just breaks in general, as I think it would have a huge impact on the overall accessibility of speedrunning. Because I swear the amount of people that say that they don't speedrun because they need to pee too often is far too high for how simple a solution is in most cases, which is find acceptable points in runs to pause the game. And hopefully one day we can start making a shift. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Adif, if you have any.
I like not to sometimes voice my opinions because I know they're bad. Does that make sense? Like,
sure.
Like my knee-jerk reaction, like I love to be convinced of things that are important, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I think this is something that we as a country, I don't want to really get into this, but I think this is something that we as a country are coming to find is like, it's nice to be convinced of important things. I don't know. It's hard for people to get that, but once, you know, like a loved one is like, hey, I'm like this, you know, it can be a teaching moment. Anyway, the bottom line is when it comes to speedrunning things like speedrunning innovations and things to make speedrunning more accessible, because I have been around for so long, I sort of have this like old boy knee-jerk reaction of like, well, that's not how things are done. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I understand and appreciate that like my experience is very different than a lot of people's experience. And if we can make speedrunning cooler and more accessible for people, like I'm down, whatever. Like, you know, this is also something we won't get into, but like the turbo discussion that came up in recent months is a good example. This is something that like I heard about it and was like, oh, well, that's not how speedrunning is done. But then I was like, well, hang on, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
that's like the bottom line that most people tend to get to with a lot of these conversations is that they actually don't care that much. It's just kind of how things have been. And so
I would rather people be happy than me be like, oh, I was right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
This does not affect me at all in any way.
Yeah, and I feel like people stop trying to tackle the problem by trying to say it's not a problem. People keep making jokes about catheters in the chat. I cannot even begin to fathom the number of times people have told me to just get a catheter, just use a bottle, and it's just like, man, why is that the alternative to something? Like, I just feel like the bottom line that we should be trying to reach as a small niche community is as many people doing it as possible, right?
Yeah,
because otherwise we will die.
When it comes specifically to breaks, also I love that we're both showing off that we are both very opinionated. When it comes to breaks specifically, I think my umbrage with this comes up of like, you know, in speedrunning for a long time, there's been a big separation between RTA and TA, or single segment and segmented, especially in the early days. So for those of us that were around in the era where like people were still doing TA and segmented runs, it was like a big distinction for people to be like, no, this is RTA. This is a single segment run. And so that's always been a huge part of speedrunning for me, is like, this is a one-time, like the run is done in one sitting, whatever. But, you know, when Breath of the Wild Hundo implemented breaks, I was like, yeah, that is a very good idea. That run is really, really long. And so, you know, especially for things like TP Hundo, I don't know, it's hard to come up with like a hard hour mark. Like, oh, if the run's over 4 hours, you should implement breaks or whatever. But it really should just be a community by community decision. And I think TP Hundo is definitely long enough. I mean, the world record is over 6 hours. Like,
yeah, it's 6:20, I believe.
If you want to put that in perspective of your human brain, like when you were in grade school, an entire school day was 7 hours. Like, that you're playing, sitting down, you're expected to sit down and play the game for that amount of time. Some of us can do that, but I would say most people probably can't, and almost everyone shouldn't. So, you know.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild Hundo, and actually my last GDQ show is what made me start doing this, like, thinking. Just like, man, it was really nice getting like 3 breaks to go to the bathroom during my 100% run. I don't normally get this. And that was far more comfortable, and like I was able to do that, right? Because it's one thing to need to wait, you know, like an hour. It's another thing to need to wait like 5 or 4. Because I think TP Hundo has 3 bathroom breaks, and it's at the 2.5 hour mark, the 6 hour mark, and the 5 hour mark. It's not good overall.
Right. Yeah, the wellness breaks are a really good part of GDQ hotfix programming, I think.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Also, as a showrunner, it's nice to like, I don't know, like, especially for my shows where, you know, everybody kind of runs their shows differently, but I personally, I like to be a very active participant in the commentary and everything most of the time. And so it is nice also for me. I'm not even playing, and like I need a break.
Yeah, it's tiring. Oh man, I think I just messed this up. Oh, wait. Oh, please don't die in the hole. Oof.
Nice.
That's the cool new human movement that is really fast, but you have to get a really nice brake slide at the end, which I unfortunately did not land.
The phrase human movement is very funny to me.
Yes, as opposed to not human movement.
Yeah, alien movement.
Hello?
Wait, did they not die?
I'm like not sure if that's gonna kill it either. I'm gonna watch. Yeah. I don't get it. All right, well, I must have dropped the bomb in the wrong spot.
Also, we could do the second break after Stalwart. How's that sound?
Sounds fantastic. That's actually where I put my brakes in, because you mentioned a really good point of where do you draw the hour line? And I started thinking about it, and I think the conversation shouldn't be when is it needed, and it should instead be where can we implement this without it being a problem. TP has very natural breaks, which is the screens after any dungeon. So even though any percent, I would argue, doesn't need bathroom breaks, if people need them and want to use them, and we have the power to add them, wouldn't that ultimately just allow more people to run the game and be good for, the health and community of others?
I think, absolutely. I think then also no way you're going for this. Sick.
Oh, this is like standard now. Doesn't mean I'm gonna nail it, but it might.
All right, that is genuinely so sick. Okay, that's Death Sword skip. It's another super jump to skip this fight, and when that trick was discovered, everyone was like, that can't be done RTA, and then Samu did it RTA, and everyone was like, what? Sick. That was so sick.
Yeah, and now it's like, oh, you missed Death Sword skip? Yeah, runs over. We have like a setup for regular Death Sword skip, for if you get the bad RNG. It's wonderful. But yeah, I would love to see the greater speedrunning community make it more normal. I've been trying to compare it when making these arguments, because most of the people that I am talking to are people like you, Adif, who are very passionate, opinionated old boys where you've never needed breaks. It's just how it's been, right?
Right.
And to be fair, I've always just worked around it too, right? Like it was just something that I decided to suffer through because that's how it is.
I mean, there are clips of me during 3D Zelda challenge attempts running to the back, like sprinting as fast as my little legs will go to get to the bathroom during like Master Sword cutscene.
Exactly. And then there's, the weird speedrunning stigma of like, you did hand wash skip and all that stuff. And it's just like, why do we have to skip washing our hands for the sake of not losing time in a speedrun? Like, why is speedrunning about your ability to sit in a chair for 3 hours and not your ability to perform in a video game setting?
Sure.
And then comparing it to any other esport, if you're in a League of Legends match at the world stage and you gotta pee, you hit the pause button and you go to the bathroom, right? That's if you're a basketball player, you hit the pause button, you go to the bathroom.
I don't think there's a pause button in real life. I don't know if you know that.
No, they say timeout.
Wait,
but you know what I mean.
I love the idea that LeBron James goes like, timeout, I have to pee.
I'm sure he's had to go to the bathroom in the middle of a game before.
Well, obviously, but I think that the difference is that basketball games literally have stopping points.
Yes.
In between quarters.
they're way shorter than most stopping points in.
Yeah. And also, like, an individual quarter is not going to be any longer than, like, 30 minutes with ad breaks and everything. Oh, wow, he's going for it. Okay, this is Death Sword Skip. This is, like, brand new being RTA viable.
Styler Skip.
Or Styler Skip, sorry, pardon me. So this has been known, some version of this has been known to be possible for a while now, but it was believed to be TAS only. But it has been demonstrated to be RTA viable very recently, like within the last couple months. So
I can get back there. I missed it by pixels.
That's so sad. So
I was so excited that I got the hardest part of the trick, and then I missed it by literally pixels. No, it's a claw shot actor displacement.
The famous task clip of the all the claw shot targets in City in the Sky being moved around.
Yeah, which is also claw shot actor displacement.
Yeah, you bring that Skelly boy over to the wall, clip out of bounds with him, and then you do some fancy tech to get to the loading zone. I think that this is the final thing I'll say on the topic that is, like, obviously...
It's a very heavy topic.
Yeah, any big change like this to speedrunning is going to be difficult to implement, right? But, like, I think part of some valid concerns that may be overhyped, but I think are also somewhat valid, is, like, first of all, it would be difficult to moderate such a thing.
I agree.
No doubt, but, you know, people would find solutions to this.
And I actually had a really long conversation about this with Fino, actually. And his response was, if people want to cheat, they're going to cheat with RTA. Like, we have the technology. And
oh, that's so valid, actually. That's so valid.
And he literally linked me, like, this thing. There's, like, a really big, like, well-known rock band guy who recently got outed as a cheater. And he was just, like, a community figurehead, super good Guitar Hero rock band guy. And then it turned out he cheated, like, a lot. And everyone was just like, wow, okay. So it's like, even when we're trying our best to stop cheaters, it might still be right under our nose, you know?
Oh, dude, I will not name names, but there have been some very disappointing. When you find out somebody you admire was a cheater the whole time, you're like, damn.
It hurts, yeah.
You feel lied to.
Someone in chat was saying that you should just do it. All of my recent 100% PBs are not allowed on the leaderboards because I do pause the timer to go to the bathroom. Because I absolutely agree that the best way to get change is to be an advocate for it.
Swift Ike the Rebel. No heart container.
I do not grab any heart containers, but this is where we are taking a break, is it not? After
yes, it is. Let's do it right here.
So,
gamers,
go to the bathroom, drink some water.
Go to the bathroom. Do it. And get up, stretch your legs, etc., etc. We're going to take a quick break here. There will be more Twilight Princess, more Swift Ike, and more PB Precipice in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is Personal Best Precipice. We're joined by Swift Ike. I am ADEF. Gamers, tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for Awfully Silly, featuring awful and silly games with cats in them. After that is That's Never Happened Before, showcasing glitches and how they work in Mass Effect 1 and 2. Those are bound to both be fun shows. Don't miss those. And, of course, gamers, SGDQ 2022 remote volunteer applications are coming up, so if you'd like to help with any of our off-site volunteering positions, go to gamesdonequick.com for more information. Registration is also open until May 23rd for the in-person event if you'd like to attend in Minnesota. And the games list is out. The games list is out. Came out yesterday. Very exciting. So if you want to see what games and runners are in the marathon, you can go to gamesdonequick.com and check out the games list. Ike, whenever you're ready, give a countdown.
I am good to go. 3, 2, 1, and 2. And speaking of the GDQ games list, You yourself doing something at GDQ this year?
I happened to. I genuinely. This is true. So I was going out last night, and I was in the car with my brother and my brother-in-law and a friend of ours, and I had known obviously that the games list was coming out yesterday, but it's never revealed what time it's going to come out. Like I didn't know what time. Sometimes it can be as late as like 11 p.m. or sometimes it could be like 10 a.m. Right? So you have no idea.
Yeah.
So by like 5 p.m. the games list had not come out yet. 5 p.m. Pacific. And I got a notification on my phone from Swiftike. And that was how I found out that I got in.
Looking out for you, man.
Thank you. Swiftike tweeted. Let me see if I can find it. Swiftike tweeted. Oh, where is it? Let's go. This is all caps. Let's go at 8F Games. Good. And then a curse word on the GDQ slots, and then lots of exclamation points. And I would
never swear.
And I was like, surely, my immediate reaction was like my heart went into my throat. And then I was like, surely Swiftike would not meme me on this. He's not the kind of guy. So I knew it was true. Like it had to be true.
God, imagine.
And so that would be really evil. That'd be truly evil if you did that. Also, this is City in the Sky early. A cool trick that's been around since the game came out, basically.
They literally found it like week 1 or something. It's absurd.
But yeah, I will be playing Pokemon Emerald Randomizer with my good friends Kizaron, Shenanigans _ and 360 Chrism. The 4 of us will be doing this very stupid run, which I'm kind of shocked got accepted, but I'm jazzed about. That is the 4 of us are playing a randomizer of Emerald where every time our Pokemon level up, they evolve. So we're only going to have one game, and every time our Pokemon evolves randomly, we're going to switch the controller as well. So yeah, all 4 of us are going to play a horribly cursed run for all of you.
That sounds incredible, actually.
I think it's going to be a lot. I'm really looking forward to it. Diet Clint. Increase the counter.
My favorite, by the way, is Wish.com Clint Stevens. I'm a huge fan of that one. I think it's so funny.
My God.
Man. And so long as you're not calling me like a Clint Leech or something, because I've been called that before, and that one really hurts. Just like, gosh darn it, I do have a face like him. My bad for streaming.
Am I bad? Am I a bad person for streaming and looking like someone else? Like that is nuts.
Yeah. How dare I also like speedrunning with a face?
With a face?
Monster.
How dare you?
But yes, this is my own merchandise. It's actually got a Goron shooting on it.
How did you get a jacket? How did you pull that?
I just, what's the name? Printful? I think it's Printful. Has jackets. They're very nice. I actually am quite a fan of this jacket.
Nice.
For those of you who do not know, by the way, there actually is a Goron in this game who does like a loud, long, like sheesh. It's fantastic. I love it so much. And that is where this shirt / jacket comes from.
Any other stuff on the games list catch your eye, Ike?
At this point, I mostly go to the games list to look for friends. Like, I don't even look at what games are in. So much to look at who is in.
Sure.
I think the #1 thing that caught my eye, because I think it's so gosh darned cool. Look, if I watch my words. See, I never curse.
I mean, you can let a swear fly. It's okay.
I'm just joshing around. Is that we are going to have a SM64 race between Panda Global, Simply, and CLG cheese. And it's
I feel like that's
so
going to be
crazy thinking
It's
about
120
that.
as well.
Yeah, it's like it's like both super hype because they're two fantastic content creators, they're two fantastic speedrunners, I love both of those people.
It's like the Battle of the Titans. That feels like it's going to be the most esports thing. I mean, they're both sponsored, for God's sake.
I've never thought that there would be a day where GDQ has two esports sponsored players doing a race. Like, it's just cool to think about. As someone who was in esports and then speedrunning, it's just like, hey, it's happening. It's weird, but like I'm very excited for the future of speedrunning and the fact that we're getting like bigger and bigger and bigger. You know,
it's sick. I also saw that race. After I saw myself, classic narcissist. After I looked for myself on the games list, I then looked for other people. So I looked for the big old ADEF, saw it, and was like, "Pog, let's go." And then looked elsewhere. That was definitely one of the things that caught my eye. That is going to be sick. But I have to say, I think the gymnast showing off Wind Waker All Dungeons is really cool.
The gymnast section is always fantastic. I shouted out gymnast earlier, like not even about his run at SGDQ, but just like he is at a lot of GDQs, and it's because he's just so darn good at it. Like, the guy is enjoyable to listen to. He knows all of the information, and he's good at the game while doing it. Like, I love every GDQ segment with Gymnast. He is so fun to watch.
I feel like people have an idea of what Wind Waker speedrunning looks like, and I think All Dungeons is going to blow that out of the water.
It's a cool category.
It's so different now than it was even a year and a half ago.
Imagine your speed game changing.
Yeah, I could never.
I'm so like, overall this run's gone pretty well, right? There's been a lot of like weird little stuff, but I'm so sad that I missed all of the new things because I was super excited to show those off. I attempted them, which was good, but next time.
But you just got to go to twitch.tv/SwiftIke.
Exactly. You might not see the PB here today, but I have been very close. In fact, I had a PB pace run that was almost a minute ahead on Wednesday this week.
Where did it die?
It died here to activating the fan, which I have not done since 2019.
Sad.
Yeah, I was actually too busy laughing to even be upset about it. It was like, I have not done that since I learned this speed game. I talked to my partner after the run, and I said I was too busy thinking about how funny it was to even be slightly upset. It was the most graceful reset I've ever done in my entire life. It's weird that I'm prideful of the quality of my reset, but
Did you get Stallard skip in that run?
no, I don't go for it in actual PB attempts right now. I've been having too many controller issues, and it's too like pixel perfect for me to go for it in runs with controller problems.
Somebody in chat wants to know where they can find your merch.
I think someone gave them the answer, but
I just posted your Twitch link.
technically I have a website, swiftike.live.
There you go.
And the merch is there. Yeah, I didn't want to respond to that because selling, like, it's one thing to sell out, my Twitch channel and my subathon that I'm doing next week on the 3rd. Hello, supposed to jump. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
This is what happens when you sell out SMH. But yes, I did not feel super comfortable just like being like, oh yeah, you can leave the site to go buy my merch. Just drawing the line at selling out my merch.
You can sell out, that's okay.
It has been weird seeing the evolution of like streamer merch. Like the companies have gotten so much better. Back in the day, if you bought a streamer shirt, it was like poorly printed on a white t-shirt. But they're like, I don't know, I'm comfortable selling out about it now.
Yeah, I do not...
Because the quality has gotten so much higher.
I've not done merch. That has not been a part of my journey yet. Nice. That was so close.
Small clenching.
Yeah, that was so close. There's just like a small grouping of pixels where you can claw shot that target.
It's one.
It's one. It's actually one. I didn't know if it was two.
No, it is. It is 1 pixel, but it is. It's 1 pixel vertically, but horizontally, it's like a bunch.
That makes sense.
But yes, that was very, very close. There's actually a famous clip of Pheno doing that and then getting smacked out of the cloud shot animation out of the air by the Aerophos combined with
is it the speed
Come
noise
On
clip?
and Slam.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
So many good Pheno clips.
It's so crazy that there's like a big speedrunning page dedicated to like old speedrun memes. It's called To Earn.
They weren't old
when they were made, yeah.
The ToEarn.com has been around for like 10 years.
Yeah, it's an old page, but the fact that like half of that website is Pheno is just like so crazy to me.
Have you seen the old Giano clips from back in the day, like 2011, 2012? Because you really
the name doesn't ring a bell.
So Giano was one of the guys that founded Speedruns Live, and he still operates it. But he was a pretty significant force in early speedrunning.
I would imagine Speedrun Live is like why speedrunning is as big as it is today. I would argue.
Yes. Yeah, SDA and SRL are like the chiefest proponents. But he is very famous for making very big speed noises when he screwed things up. And there is a clip that so I don't forget about it, I'm going to send it to you right now.
Thank you. I would have forgotten too, so.
I bet it comes up. No, it didn't come up that easily. Hang on.
Clearly, you need to sell baseballs with googly eyes on them named Martin.
Oh, is it time to talk about Martin Baseball? Martin Baseball
Please inform me, because I'm lost.
He's the de facto mascot of PB Precipice and Challenger Approaching. He is canonically my uncle. And he is a baseball named Martin that does not speak, but he is the CEO of baseball. So anywhere baseball is played, Martin is there to oversee and, just sort of make sure everything is baseball.
Yep, and this is baseball. Checks out.
Sometimes the Twitch account, The Martin Baseball, shows up in my Twitch chat or in this Twitch chat and just posts the baseball emoji because that's all he can say because he's a baseball.
That checks out logically. I love hearing like little backstory things like that.
You have Fur and Dangers to thank for yes-anding me into Martin Baseball when they were on the show. Or sorry, I mean you have Martin Baseball to thank for being Martin Baseball, because he's real.
Yes, shout outs to Martin Baseball. A true legend of the baseball community.
Yes. Well, the creator of baseball. So.
Yeah, like, yeah. I love this. So, I don't remember if I actually went in. I started talking about this earlier, and then I completely forgot to like go into it. Twilight Princess does one thing too many times, and it takes something super easy and makes it look super hard and cool, and then it takes something super easy looking and is actually like frame perfect and the most difficult thing in the game. I think you could argue that difficulty in this game is connected directly to how cool it looks. The cooler it looks, probably the easier it is, and the lamer it looks, the more difficult to, like the highest, like Gorge Void is frame perfect, A-press, super important to the run, and if you don't point it out, people won't even see it, right?
Right.
And then LJAs, you have to play around with it to figure it out, but you can teach someone how to LJA in a 2-minute session.
Right.
And it looks so
flashy.
cool. Yeah. LJAs are like the best part of speedrunning this game, in my opinion. They're so cool.
I'm really struggling to find this clip, but it's a classic. I mean, it's an absolute classic.
I'm still just on the edge of my seat wondering what speed noises are.
You don't know what a speed noise is?
No.
Okay, speed noise is maybe this is an old boy term. I don't think so. It's basically anytime you're speedrunning and something goes wrong and you let out an involuntary noise that is inhuman. That's a speed noise.
Okay, I have a few of those then.
Oh yeah, everybody does it. Giano is famous for his speed noises.
I've definitely got a few speed noises.
I gotta ask in a Discord for this, I think.
If I remember correctly, I actually found a crash in this game and made a speed noise very late at night. Because we still haven't even figured out how it happens, but your game can crash at Snow Peak, just like randomly. And it's only ever happened to me and Marco. So, I made a fun speed noise when I got that crash.
I bet.
And like we never figured it out. It's a complete mystery to this day.
I cannot find it. Oh, somebody got the jacket. Nice.
I'm glad people like it. My partner designs all of our art and like merch and stuff, and I realized after we designed this that it's like specifically designed for my taste, which is I like bright pink and blue. I'm basically walking trans pride flag, trans rights. And it turns out a lot of people really like wearing darker colors in public. So I'm excited to see other people who like the jacket. It's very nice. So I hope you enjoy. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Can't find the clip. Can't find it.
It is okay. Another time.
It's such a classic. It's basically, if anyone in chat knows this clip and has a link, I'll be so happy. Giano is in Rainbow Ride, and he's in the like red coin area with the bob-omb, and he gets like wombo comboed and dies to the bob-omb in like the most unbelievable way, and the noise that comes out of this man's mouth is like unbelievable. And I can't find, it's not on his YouTube channel. It's not on his Twitch. It might be on somebody else's YouTube channel. I'm not sure.
It's on Speedrun Fails or something.
I mean, it's from like, this clip is genuinely from 2011.
I think Mario is actually the game. Like, even though I mostly speedrun Twilight Princess, I've probably made far more speed noises in Mario than I ever have in this game.
Well, that's because Mario...
Someone in chat knows where it is.
I know the clip. I know the clip. I don't know where to find it. Okay. Now you share in my horror of being unable to find it.
I know I've skipped every other heart container. We pretty much have to get this heart container because I am going to do a trick here that makes me lose 2 hearts. And when you only have 3, losing 2 is not good. But I'm gonna hold left L and mash the B button to do that, allowing me to just warp straight to the Palace of Time Loss.
I like that trick.
It's a nice trick. For what it's worth, Railkun, I wear the Sylveon hoodie in Pokemon Go because it's fantastic, but I didn't know there was a real one, so I'm excited. Sylveon is a Pokemon that over the years has just moved up and up and up on my favorite Pokemon list because it's my favorite Pokemon color-wise, regular and shiny, just hard. Pokemon really likes just being like, this Pokemon looks really, really good. What if it was like purple and green? That'd be sweet. It's just like, man, why did you do that to my Pokemon? It's a good hoodie. I'm specifically talking about Dragonite, by the way. Dragonite goes from being a pink shiny to being a purple and green. Ugh.
I like Dragonite shiny. I mean, to be fair, my favorite dragon type is Dragonair, so like I feel you. But oh, Swift like, should I do my impression of the guys outside when you bring the balls of light and walk next to them? Great.
Yes,
you walk next to one,
I've heard it
and
before.
I'll mimic it.
Because I can't. Yeah, as we've discussed, the PB chance is not as great as I was hoping for. But honestly, this run's been fairly good. Nothing major has happened.
Also, your new camera looks really good, by the way.
Thank you. Someone told me that basically webcams hit a cap and you can't like go any better than webcams. And getting a DSLR costs multiple legs or arms, whichever one you're willing to forego. But if you have an old phone, there's an app for like 20 bucks that you can just plug it into your computer. And they tend to have really nice cameras on them. And I was like, yo.
I just started using a GoPro last week. It works great.
Similar concept, I would imagine.
Also, I would like to thank Neonat for finding the clip.
Neonat can find anything, and he always gives me a bunch of crap when I ask him to Google stuff for me. And he's like, can't you Google it? He can find anything on the internet, I swear.
The clip is titled it has 60,000 views on YouTube, uploaded by somebody I've never seen before, and the description is classic, recorded live on Justin.tv. And it was uploaded to YouTube December 26th, 2011. So my thought about the date was correct. Neonat, bless you. Thank you. You know what? Just for everybody's sake, I'm going to post the clip in chat for everybody. You just watch it at your own leisure. It will bring you great joy. Actually, let me screen it first. Hang on. It's very loud, just so you know.
Yes, noise warning.
Oh, it's just as good as I remember. There's a very casual curse at the end.
As opposed to a competitive curse.
Yes, yes, correct. All right, I'll listen here for the noise, and then I'll mimic it.
Of all of the, like, overused dad jokes, that one might be near the top for me.
The competitive casual one?
Yeah, big fan. Because usually the concept of the competitive, whatever you were talking about, is just, like, hysterical. I'm imagining just, like, a bunch of sailors standing around saying who can say the dirtiest, like, string of curse words.
I'm adding this clip to my favorites so that I'll never lose it. All right, I'm gonna turn on your game audio so that I can hear.
Okay. Oh, that clip. I like how everyone's like, oh yeah, no, I've seen this. Great clip. Fantastic. So, this guy?
Yeah, just walk by him.
Oh.
There you go. I hope you enjoyed
An
it.
absolute one-to-one. That is a bad angle.
That clip
even a
brings me so much joy.
Can we get a round of applause, by the way? For Adolf's fantastic. I mean, he can get a round of applause too. Where do you guys think Justin is? Is he doing stuff?
The Justin of Justin TV?
Yeah.
I think he sold Twitch and is probably doing just fine.
Yeah, but, like, do you think he's doing, you know, like, mentally, do you think he's okay? I care about it.
I hope so.
You know?
I hope so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish nobody mental distress. No matter who you are, I hope you're doing okay.
So true. Chat, are you doing okay? Are you guys having a wonderful time today? Listening to Adolf and I talk about as obscure stuff as we can think of?
Last I saw, he was trying to do YouTube. Neonat is keeping tabs on Justin.
We know where Justin is now? Thank you. He knows everything.
It's interesting. The Palace of Twilight is like, there's really not much going on, but it's really execution heavy. In like, it's one of those areas in speedrunning where small errors have huge consequences.
Oh yeah, 100%. When people say that this game is like hard, I tend spy shot. I tend to be like, I don't know about that one. But when they say this game is punishing and unforgiving, I'm just like, yeah, no, you can lose a run to every single split in this game. I think there is some level of RNG on every single split in the entire run. So, there's just the first room here we actually call stupid room because it like famously goes absurdly bad.
I hate that room. It's probably my least favorite room in the speedrun, to be honest with you.
Would you agree that it is a stupid room?
I would say it's a stupid room.
I should really take my earbuds out for this. But I'm too stubborn.
Can you not hear the game?
Not very well. I like using these like little thingies so I can hear you guys. It's Dark Souls for Legend of Zelda. Everything's a Dark Souls clone. Similarly, I think every game ever made is a ripoff of Doom.
Epic.
I mean, they really did it first, you know, like having controls. That's one of my stream's inside jokes, is that every game is a Doom clone. And every streamer is Clint Stevens.
Yeah, and I'm the Dark Souls of streamers, obviously.
Exactly, yeah. I do love the oversimplification of everything that's ever existed that the internet does, but also everything is super complicated at the same time.
Yeah, well, I think
this is a conversation that goes way too deep.
Yeah,
way too
I'm not
rabbit
sure. I'm not sure this one is worth.
That's the best quote I've ever seen in my entire life. This is giving me real Boss Baby energy, says the man who has only ever seen the movie Boss Baby.
It's such a good tweet. That tweet is so good. There are I keep like running tabs sort of on my tweet of the year, which is basically if a tweet makes me laugh out loud or like it's truly hilarious, I will bookmark it. And then at the end of the year, I go through and I see which one was the best. And a couple years ago, there was a tweet posted that is maybe not just my tweet of the year for that year, but also my all-time favorite tweet. It's so good. It's a screenshot of Tony Hawk's, I think, Pro Skater, but it might be Underground 1, I'm not sure. But basically, the tricks being performed by the skater in the screenshot are pop shove it and no comply. So it says pop shove it plus no comply, and the tweet just reads, when my dad asks me to take out the trash. Pop shove it, no comply. It makes me laugh every time I see it.
That's a pretty good one, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I was waiting for this to end with I have to go find the tweet. But I'm really glad that I was able to. I haven't seen the image, but I don't even know if I need to. Right?
This is one I can. This is one I can genuinely find because it's in my bookmarks. As soon as I figure out how to access bookmark, okay, I found it.
Do you know what your all-time top tweet is?
Oh, it's at the bottom of my bookmarks. Perfect. What? Like the tweet from me?
Yes. Like, what is your tweet that has done the best?
Oh, that has done the best, or the one that I'm proudest of?
Done the best, like best analytics.
I have a tweet that got seen several million times last year.
Wow, big boy.
Yeah, I tweeted about, if you recall, there was, during all of the nonsense with hate raids and everything, there was the Twitch blackout day. And I tweeted about why I felt that the blackout date was important. And I woke up the next morning and the tweet had 10,000 likes. I had to mute it because I was getting so many notifications. It was really weird, like very surreal. Like, you know, the tweet was important and I'm glad that it got eyes on it. And I hope it brought more people to the information, which is good. But it's very weird to have a tweet do that well of any kind, because people, you start getting like replies that are so bewildering.
Yeah, I try really, really hard to avoid the comment section on Twitter because whenever I bring up that I love Twitter, I'll be honest, I'm a huge fan of Twitter. Because I think I use it very safely, right? If someone says something I don't like, I block them. Get out of here. My Twitter feed is the things that I want to see. So I see information and memes. So my Twitter is very enjoyable, but I understand why people say like it's just so full of blah 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 blah. My most successful tweet is actually I tweeted just a simple meme, and it was it's now a Twitch emote used widely everywhere. That's just time safe for next run, and the picture of the guy with the mask and he's crying. And he looks like he's happy, but he's actually crying.
What was your engagement like on that Twitter tweet, SwiftIke?
Probably like 500 likes, but
Nice.
It has stood the test of time because it is in like every single speedrun emotes section now.
I mean, I would say that, like, besides that one tweet that did unbelievably well, the best any of them have done is like a couple hundred likes, for sure. But yeah, that one was a sure outlier.
Twitter is weird, which is like kind of where I'm going with this, because I feel like there is never a one-to-one of effort and like pride and success on Twitter. You tweet a picture of a sock smiling with some funny text, and it's just like, bam, this one's going huge. And then you like code a game from scratch with like blah blah blah. You put that out, and it just flops.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You'll tweet a smiley face, and Twitter's like, this one's going epic style. And then, yeah, you work for 10 years on something and post about it, and a few people in the field are like, this is neat.
This is pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
I hope you get to 20 likes.
Occasionally, though, you get a confluence of these, and you actually get respect on something that took a lot of time. And that always feels nice. It's like, the thing I worked hard on is...
every time kind of thing.
So Ike is trying to make a super fast cycle in this room, which used to be unbelievably hard, and I think these days is not that hard. Yeah, you just do some fun LJAs and movement here to try to make this claw shot target fast, and this get one of the moving platform that he's on right now quickly, and then the one after that.
The thing that made it easier is we figured out that if you call Midna, it'll stop the platforms without stopping the... I almost fell anyways.
That was so close.
There's nothing quite like basically getting the trick and then talking about how it's easy now and then failing it. I think it's a 100% success rate on failing a trick that I call easy.
That's just how it works.
Yeah, you can't say that it's easy and get it. Like, it's clearly impossible. I'm still a firm believer, person in chat, that Sheik is actually Ganondorf.
Wow.
It's the only thing that lines up.
The only thing that lines up. What does he mean by this?
You never see both of them in the same place.
What does he mean by this? It is funny that the biggest bathroom break in Twilight Princess happens at the very end. I'm realizing with the Midna cutscene. It's nice in the 3D Zelda challenge if TP's not the last game.
It is a very long... It's like a 3-minute break. Actually, I believe every single speed game I've ever ran has had what I call a light arrow cutscene.
Yes. Here's a question that I feel you'll know a lot more information than me on this topic. First of all, I would like to say that every phase of this Zant fight is really cool, so you should definitely pay attention, gamers. Every single phase has a cool strat of some kind. But the new tech that was discovered with the memory underflowing on the title screen, do you think this has any potential, any big ramifications?
Man, I wish I was smart enough to answer this question. I think that it's possible that they find the thing that lets us skip the barrier. Because every time I have ever doubted the speedrunning community, we have found the thing, right? Like every game's found its holy grail at this point. We have Moonboard for sake, or whatever the words there are.
We have Moonboard
and like
for Majora's
Wind Waker Barrier
Mask,
Skip.
Wind Waker Barrier Skip, Skyward Sword, skip Song of the Hero finally.
Like, this is the 3D Zelda game that hasn't gotten its like big trick, right? So I
Even
feel
just
like this trick would do it.
An easier, earlier Snow Peak would be sick.
We found a harder one. Is that?
That's what. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. One that is not that one.
There is something called Earliest Snow Peak that technically removes Gorge Void from the route and is slightly faster, but it requires to do even more frame perfect TAS nonsense. So we unfortunately cannot actually do it. This is another segment in the run where newer runners get like extremely, I think it's like they panic. It's like it's scared, like, oh, I'm running out of air. But you have so much time, and all you have to do is not get scared, and you won't fail it.
Just don't get scared, Fivehead.
Just don't get scared. Just like take your time with it. Breathe. It's okay. You have like a solid 5-6 seconds.
I think part of it is also like newer runners might not understand that like Iron Boot swimming tech.
Sure, yeah.
It's hard.
I just see a lot of people like mashing there when they're newer, and it's just like, this isn't a frame perfect input. This isn't. It's hard because I also have to like check myself when I'm saying stuff like this.
Right, because you don't want to sound like oh, this is
oh yeah, it's so easy, and like, oh yeah, I totally don't do this every day for the last 2 years. Of course it's easy. But yeah, it's hard to check that and also be like, no, it is easy. Just breathe. It's okay. I actually think that's a huge problem in speedrunning on both levels. Like really good players will fail something that they think is really easy. That's actually absurdly hard, and they'll be so hard on themselves. I'm sure you've seen that a few times.
Sure.
Being a long-time watcher of speedrunners, and that's like the hardest thing for me. Like
just being
they
hard
fail
on yourself.
Watching people do it. You know, it's just...
Oh, sure. I've struggled with that for a long time.
Yeah, and I struggle with it too, like doing it. But it's something that people are getting better at, and I really appreciate it. Just like understanding and appreciating how hard some of the stuff that you do consistently is, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Also, nice Hyrule Zant phase that is not free, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I guess there is the visual cue of the pillar coming down for the first hit, but I find it hard.
But there's a visual. I take 3 steps forward. I just remembered the Leonard Skinner song. Just give me 3 steps, give me 3 steps, bitch, give me 3 steps towards the Zant.
He's nailing it. He's nailing it.
That's how I know how to do that fight. If you take exactly 3 steps forward and then start your dashes, you'll hit them every time.
Right before the pandemic, like February 2020, January 2020, I just rediscovered these actually the other day. I was going through my YouTube videos, my unlisted ones, and I have several unlisted videos that are me trying to find barrier skip in this game and me trying to find earliest snow peak in this game. And they're like theories that I had and me doing stuff on Dolphin. It's like, look at this. Look where I can get out of bounds. And God, I just wish. There's so much stuff you can do in Market Town or Castle Town that like feels like it should be, like you should be able to do it. If we could just have, honestly, I'll put a bounty on this. We should put a bounty on restricted item use, honestly.
We should.
If you could do unrestricted items, you would open this game. In
100%. The game would be, I don't want to say dead. I think that's a very bad, commonly used word in speedrunning. That is not good. I'm again trying to skip the mailman, by the way, because I hate mail. And if he tries to give me mail, I will return to sender and make a speed noise.
We're up to 38 Clint Stevens mentions, by the way.
Yes. I liked that last one, though. It even has the, you probably get this a lot. And we're at 38. So, yeah, a couple times.
What were you saying?
That is my favorite bonk in the game.
It's a good bonk. You said there was a terminology in speedrunning, I missed it, that you said was overused. When I was talking about restricted item usage.
I don't remember.
Maybe I just misheard you. But yeah, if you were able to use, because like there are certain areas in the game where you like can't use items that are blurred or like grayed out. And the barrier area is one of them. And if we had access to like the Gale Boomerang or Iron Boots, like I feel like it would be so easy.
I believe if we just had access to bombs, we could do it.
Apparently, Railcoon just let me know. Apparently, it was you said that things were quote unquote dead. Like that's overused.
Yes, calling games dead because we have a new trick is very common.
Yeah, that's stupid. I hate that. There's a video of me, Swiftike, of doing this LJA in Upper Zora's Domain from, like, I get map glitch, and then I go out of bounds behind where it leads to Zora's Domain, and then I walk out and, like, ledge grab, and I shimmy over to this, like, small little bit, and then I do this super precise LJA to this tiny polygon at the very bottom of UZD. And then I just see up and look out, and I'm like, there's the Snow Peak entrance.
There it is. If we could only get there.
If I didn't have map glitch active, I could hit the trigger, but alas, poor Yorick.
I had a long cutscene. I could chat while I run.
Ganon, this is one of my favorite end segments in speedrunning. I love Ganon's Castle. Or Hyrule Castle in TP. I think it's like so cool.
I'm a big fan of this trick. I was considering not using the bombs here because I have a bad bomb count due to something going wrong somewhere. I don't remember which thing.
I think it was Morpheal.
Was it Morpheal?
I think you 3-bombed Morpheal. It might have been 4.
Yeah, no, it was a 3 or 4. It was 3. I normally have 4.
Gamers, please, in the last few minutes of the run here, please follow Swiftike on Twitch. The link is in the chat. It's worth your time. It's a full-time streamer. He's very
about to be fuller time streamer than anyone ever should.
Yeah. Subathon, it's coming.
I got
to a Swiftike stream near you.
Did I do that wrong? No, it's fine. Yeah. Thank you so much for the shout out. I do appreciate it. Oh, extra bomb were used in Arbiter's Grounds. That's right. That is exactly what
yeah. On the Stalfos.
Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the run. It's not over quite yet. There's still a few more cool tricks. Yeah. I have really enjoyed just chatting with Adif. It feels like a regular Swiftike stream. So you guys get a genuine me making mistakes, me talking about nothing in particular.
Classic streaming.
Me being called Clint Stevens? I love it.
Yeah, this has been a great show. I typically like, and this is not a rag on anybody that's been on the show before, on either of the shows. But typically I complain when I can't listen to the game music because I don't complain, but I complain internally because I really want to listen to the game music because it's a nice part of watching streams for me. And, essentially when I'm running these shows, I'm watching a stream and like talking about it, right? So I've had no game audio, and if I don't have game audio, typically I will play something, music for myself in the background. But I have not listened to anything this whole time. I have just been talking to my friend Swift Ike. And that's
what it's what I'm having a great time.
It was also a very late night with some questionable decisions last night, so no music is probably for the best. It's kind of nice to just chill out, but
So you said, I don't know if you said it on stream, but you said, at least before stream, that you were out doing karaoke. What's your go-to karaoke song?
I really don't do karaoke that often. I mean, especially in the last few years, obviously. This is probably the first time I've done karaoke in 4 years. But if I'm like trying to really show off my pipes, I will and I haven't sung a bunch of stuff yet, so I can still do it. Because at karaoke, like, you blow your voice out so fast. I have all this voice training to help support my voice and like support my diaphragm, keep my voice healthy. And the second I walk into a karaoke room, all of my voice training flies out the window. But Ain't No Mountain High by Marvin Gaye is like, if I'm trying to like really show off. But even that exits my range at a certain point. But I don't know. I like anything Strokes. Anything Strokes is very... And you hear the voice crack just then because I absolutely obliterated my voice last night. But the Strokes is definitely my big go-to.
Wow, having bombs here is a pain.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Strokes. I actually have never done karaoke before, like legitimate karaoke. I've never lived somewhere that had that as like a thing that you go do.
Oh, I'm sure you could find it in your area.
Yeah, I used to live in like a very small town, but now I probably could. But when I moved out of the small town, I was here for like no time at all. Ugh. This is not good. This is what I get for talking.
Oh, I've never seen that. That method is really interesting. You do the same thing you do with the Dark Nuts, where you hit the shield and then walk around them. I've never seen that. My method for hitting these guys, if I miss the initial thing, is I wait for him to strike me, and then that opens him.
That also works, yes. Honestly, though, if I had to pick a song, it'd probably be Drunken Love by Beyonce.
We played Countdown last night, which is another great Beyonce song. And Love on Top. We also did that last night.
Or like, maybe a Britney Spears song.
You
never go wrong with Britney.
We had plenty of Britney last night. Plenty of Britney last night.
It sounds like we'd have a good time at karaoke together.
Karaoke's a good time, man. It's fun. We had Korean fried chicken beforehand, which was very good. I'd never had that before. It's very good.
Fried chicken's definitely, I talked earlier that I don't eat a lot of food. Fried chicken's on my list of foods that I'm just like, ugh, can't get enough.
It's so good. Have you had chicken and waffles?
I have not. I almost did once. I worked at a Smash tournament for Smash GG. I was a volunteer. I ran a stream setup, and they gave all of the people who worked that event chicken and waffles, but they forgot about me. Oh, I did not get chicken and waffles.
Tragic. I think chicken and waffles, I think it's slightly overhyped. It's good, but like it's not a life-changing food. Both elements are very good on their own, and they're fine together, but it's more additive than multiplicative, I would say.
Okay. So it's eating two good foods at the same time, but it doesn't actually make it's good because it is two good foods, not because...
Yeah. Like, the syrup is good on the chicken, sure.
If just a hater of chicken and waffles.
That's not true.
SMH.
That's not true. I do not hate it.
It's okay. I won't start the twit longer. I'll put it away. I actually made my first twit longer the other day. I made like I felt like a real content creator.
I think I did twit longers back in the day.
They used to be way more like important when the twit short was half the characters that it is now.
Come on, Swift. Twit short?
Yeah, like the shorter tweets. When you had to be short with your tweets.
You mean Twitter?
Yeah, when you had to use Twitter like a Twitter.
Yes, it was 140 and then it became 280. Remember how I remember when it became 280, I was like, what? And now I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, I actually remember the day it became 280 and the entire feed was just people posting like a period and like making it as long as possible. To just flood Twitter. That was fantastic. But I think it's time for the best part of the speedrun.
7.
Because why? Who doesn't like good RNG, right?
7.
7. That's
Why
right.
would you guess
7,
why would you
and
guess,
we've already lost it.
Why would you guess anything other than 7? You can
Because
still
I'm
have
running.
you can still have a slow 8.
This is true. I can still get an 8. So the way this fight works is I cannot hurt her unless she's throwing these balls at me. She has 3 attacks: balls, Dorito, and stab. Like fly at you, stab. The Doritos are the slowest. Balls, good. The stab, and here's the third one. Thank you for the example, Zelda. Is the fastest alternative. There is a required amount of attacks between certain balls. The requirement for the first ball is 0, 1 for the second ball, and 3 for the last, making 7 the minimum. We've already had one thing that wasn't a ball when it could have been, so the minimum is 8. But we'll see if we can get an 8.
It can be a slow 8 now.
Because I think my favorite thing is that the RNG is not only what attack you get, but also how frequent they are. So she can just like sit there and not attack you for a long period of time. The fastest recorded Zelda is like 1:30, and the slowest is like 3.5 minutes. I thought it was a Dorito.
So this is going to be 9 potentially, I think. It's 9.
Yay, 9. Good job, believers.
That is exactly average. I think the average is 9.
Is it? I feel
9.
like the average is like 7 or 8. I see 7s so often.
I think it's a misnomer saying the average is 9 because that doesn't account for the different speeds. Because like you can have a slow 7. Okay, so there's a very specific hit combo that Ike is going for here on B-Scannon. He's basically he's hitting B-Scannon's Scar in a very specific way in order to skip the middle phase. There's like a couple phases for B-Scannon. And there's this one where he teleports from above, and then after that, there's this phase where he's supposed to go into a bunch of portals and slowly pick one. And we don't want that. It's super slow. So Ike does this hit combo, which is, I believe, 4 regular hits and then a full 4-hit combo. And this should skip straight to the phase where B-Scannon immediately comes out of the first blue portal, which is what we want.
Yep.
And then he should be able to kill him.
Luckily enough, if you got it, it'll do that, right? So that's how you know you got it. I also love the theme. Hey, it's fantastic. This game has a lot of really good, like, spam scenes.
The music is goated. This is the best 3D Zelda. IMHO.
I have to agree. What is your least favorite 3D Zelda? I feel like that's a question that always gets people heated.
Majora's Mask.
Oh my god, same!
Oh, babe.
I very infrequently find other people with this opinion, so I'm making my day.
I have tried to casually play Majora's Mask twice, and both times I've just been like, why is it so confusing? I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do.
There we go.
It's got a lot of really cool elements, though. And the speedrun is sick. Like, I say it's my least favorite, but I still like it.
Yeah, that's what people always don't think about when I say that it's Majora's Mask, is I'm like, guys, I think it's like a 7 or 8.
Yeah,
but I think the other ones are like
9s and 10s.
9s and 10s.
Yeah, you're comparing a 7 to a 9, and so it seems like the 7 is horrible, but it's still better than most games.
Yeah, because I had the same problem. I tried playing it as like a kid, and I remember running around day 1 until the mood killed me, and I was just like really mad. Like, what am I supposed to do? The mood just kills me. I can't do anything about it. And so I just like dropped the game until I was an adult, and then it still took me a while. I had to Google it. I've had to Google more stuff in Majora's Mask in my casual playthrough than any other game ever.
It's a cool speedrun, though.
Very cool speedrun.
No major glitches is like so cool in MM, which is what any % was before SRM was found. So sick. I love that run.
This is another conversation that I could go into way too deep.
SRM ruined gaming.
No, not that. I really wish we didn't give tricks that completely change a game the ability to steal any % from, like, I hate saying, like, oh yeah, I'm a huge
this one
no SRM defeat Ganon fan, right?
I disagree.
Also, nice boots.
Nice boots. Time.
That is it. That is time. Sorry, we were talking.
This one,
this is a just chatting stream.
We can argue about this one later. This is one I'll vehemently disagree with you on, but that doesn't matter. Gamers, get your claps in the chat. Get your GGs out. Swift Ike has just finished Twilight Princess any % on your GDQ Twitch stream.
What was the time? I'm actually kind of curious.
It was a 3:05.
Wow, that's like really not too bad.
It was a 3:05:30.
That's not too shabby at all.
That's great. That is, I would not be shocked to find out that's the fastest TPNE has ever been played on the GDQ stream. That would not surprise me.
Because I think the last time it was on GDQ was you, right?
Yeah, and I got like a 350.
You'll get a sub 3 soon.
One day.
Coach Swift Ike. Thank you, everyone, for the G's. Followed by a second G. It is much appreciated.
So, Ike, any final thoughts before I do the closing words here?
Final thoughts. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to see your run at GDQ.
Oh, thank you.
Please follow me at Swift Ike, twitch.tv/Swift Ike. I will be doing a uncapped subathon starting on May 3rd, so 2 days from now. Taking tomorrow off to prepare. But hope you guys enjoyed the run. And yeah, that's all from me. Other than Link never skips leg day.
There we go. Yeah, the Iron Boots run. Let's go.
The Iron Boots run. And my PB is a 257.27.
Gamers, that will be it for PB Precipice and for me, ADEF, and for the GDQ hotfix today. We're the only show today. Just a short little day here. Nice little calm, cozy run. And gamers, I really appreciate all of you that come to all the hotfix shows. Especially thank you for joining for Challenge Approaching and PB Precipice. Always, I really appreciate it. I see all your nice comments on the YouTube videos and in Twitch chat about like, oh, I love Challenge Approaching. I love PB Precipice. That stuff makes my day. So thank you. But yeah, do stick around. We'll take another break and then we'll raid someone. So please do stick around to support somebody else on twitch.tv. But some quick announcements before we close out. If you're watching on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Your subs, gift subs, Prime Gaming subs, and bits do help support weekly hotfix content and shows like these. please consider supporting our daily content if you enjoy the Hotfix shows. And SGDQ 2022 remote volunteer applications are coming up. If you'd like to help with any of our offsite volunteering positions, go to gamesdonequick.com for more information. Registration is also open until May 23rd if you want to come in person to Minneapolis. That's exciting. And the games list is released. You can check it out at gamesdonequick.com. Gamers, that's going to be it for us today. Do stick around to raid someone, and stay safe. Cheers.
You forget we do space. Hot for with horse?